Good evening, everyone. How are you doing tonight? I am your host, Craig. You're very welcome along to Between the Lines here on the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. It's been a crazy day for me, guys. I've been really busy, but as always, I try to make time to get on here each and every night to talk to you guys about all the things Liverpool related. Today, the big story again, as it has been so many times across this summer, revolves around Nabil Fekir. The stories emanating today seem to suggest that Chelsea are in for Nabil Fekir and that they're trying to make a shock move from at the end of the window. I'm not sure what I believe about that, to be honest. I really don't. Is it because they're playing a friendly with Leon on Tuesday night? Is it convenient for the newspapers perhaps to put this out there? I don't know. Is it because Chelsea are scrambling around trying to get players and they see him as a possible easy uh, choice to bring in perhaps? Or to appease their fans? I don't know. They've been linked with so many players this summer and none of them seem to have come off for them so far. Their goalkeeper today has gone missing. Maybe that's it. I really don't know. But what I don't believe for 1 second is that Nabil Fekir suddenly, after all the summer of wanting to play for Liverpool, suddenly would end up at Chelsea. It just doesn't make sense. Even the player's own perspective on this seems to suggest that he wants a Champions League club. He said today he's quite happy at Lyon. They've progressed well. He thinks the squad's good. So he's saying all the things he needs to say, just in case he's going to have to stick around at Lyon, let's be honest. But the part where he suggests that he needs to be at a club that are playing top level football, and he kind of hints towards the Champions League and stuff. Maybe that's a little subtle suggestion that he just doesn't want to move to a club that aren't there. Someone like a Chelsea or an Arsenal perhaps. And look, I'm not being disparaging towards those clubs because they're not my clubs. I don't give a shit about Chelsea or Arsenal. I only really care about Liverpool. And with 3 days left in the window, what have we got? Like Tuesday, Wednesday, not even 3 full days left of the window. Things are really going to start heating up. I don't know if Liverpool are going to be too involved in this, but surely clubs like United, Chelsea, Arsenal, maybe not Arsenal to a degree, Spurs, they're all going to have to get business done. Where are they going to get these players from? It's going to be madness. It's going to be absolute madness. Let's jump straight into the chat and see what people have to say in tonight's stream. As always, this show is your show. Whatever you guys want to talk about is what we'll talk about. Few people asking about the FPL league code. I don't see that's. I don't remember saying we were having an FPL league. I honestly don't remember saying this. I did get on to Charlie about it earlier on, and Charlie has created a code. Let me see if I have it actually. He may have sent it to me, guys. So bear with me 1 second. If he sent it to me, then of course I'll whack it straight into the chat here, and we can get going. We can knock that one out of the way. Where are we? Do you know what he actually did? He actually did. Funnily enough, he did. Right, so guys, I'm going to put the FPL code into the chat now. So this is for our subscribers. So if anybody wants to join this league, of course, feel free. Bear with me 1 sec while I write it in. Excuse me for the silence, guys. I'm just putting in the code here. So bear with me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so the code's got into the chat there, guys. It is from the official Premier League site. So if you're wondering which fantasy Premier League it is, it's from the official Premier League site. So if anybody of our subscribers does want to join, you're more than welcome. We hope to see you in there. Hopefully we'll have a bit of crack with it as the season goes on. But yeah, let's go back into the chat here actually and see where you guys are coming from. Aaron said Chelsea rumours are probably to get the deal done quicker. It just seems a little bit convenient, Aaron, mate, that suddenly Chelsea are playing a pre-season friendly tomorrow night against Lyon, and then all of a sudden the links to Nabil Fekir appear from nowhere because Chelsea are struggling to get players in. Does it not seem just a little bit too convenient to you guys as well, or am I just being Liverpool biased here completely? Ben said his FPL name is Murder on Zidane's Floor. Pretty proud of it. That's a pretty good name, Ben, to be fair, mate. So well in. Murder on Zidane's Floor. I do like that. Well in, buddy. Aaron said Leon are playing Chelsea tomorrow. Fekir's not playing. He probably wouldn't be though, to be fair. He's only just back from World Cup. He's only been training a couple of days, so he probably wouldn't have been playing no matter who they were playing. I don't think the fact of playing Chelsea would really have much relevance to that one. You know yourself, the same with our players coming back. They probably need a little bit longer, a little bit more training in their legs. These players that are coming back so late. Jamie said, "Hi Craig, been watching your podcast for about a month now and loved every one of them. Keep up the great work." Thank you, Jamie. That's very kind of you, mate. It's always lovely to hear nice things like that, and we certainly do appreciate them, mate. So thank you. I hope you continue to enjoy them going forward, buddy. And welcome to the channel. I know you're here about a month now, but welcome anyway. And said, Craig, not sure whether you've seen the nonsense today about the locals and Scousers. Scouser myself, if there's a red that's good enough for some other garbage about that. If there's a red, let me just reread that. Scouser. Some other garbage. Yeah, sorry, it's like a red's a red. It's good enough for me. There's some other garbage about. I have seen little bits, Ant, but I haven't seen how the story started, so I'd be lying if I said I know where this popped up today. I had seen a few people on Twitter commenting about being a local or being from Africa or wherever they are from, and it's a tough subject, and not one that we can treat lightly, I suppose. I mean, you'd imagine and you'd hope that someone's love of Liverpool Football Club can't just be summarised about where they're from. Like, you can't just say, okay, I'm born 3 miles from Liverpool, therefore I obviously have a greater affinity to the club than anybody born 1,000 miles away. It doesn't simply work that way. There are lots of benefits to growing up 3 miles from Anfield, don't get me wrong. You would have got a chance to be in and around the ground a lot. Yes, you probably feel more of an affinity towards the club and the players to a certain extent because you're a Scouser. That I understand. But to tell somebody who lives 5,000 miles away that they've no right to love this football club or to feel a certain way about the football club, or that they shouldn't be following the football club, or that they don't understand the meaning behind You'll Never Walk Alone, or that only Scousers get it, any of that type of shit just doesn't wash with me at all. Like, maybe that's because I'm not from Liverpool myself. Obviously, I'm from Ireland, but I go over and I can tell you, and you guys can see, I put all this work in around Liverpool content. Liverpool means an awful lot to me, as it does to every one of you. So this whole argument about locals against overseas fans or locals against non-locals is just another sad situation that seems to have arose from the lack of tickets and the lack of availability to tickets for everybody, whether that be locals or overseas fans, people from Scotland, people from London, people from Ireland, people from Norway, wherever the fuck it is. There's a lack of tickets, and my very, very naive understanding of things seems to be that fans are turning on each other out of frustration. Everybody's frustrated about not being able to get the tickets that they want, not being able to get and see the club that they want to see, and locals are blaming overseas fans who are coming in paying inflated prices, buying them off travel companies, and then overseas fans are blaming some locals who have tickets and are touting them to make money, and it's just a vicious circle. The ideal scenario for everybody is that there's enough tickets for everybody and tickets are plentiful, but from the club's perspective and from a financial aspect, there probably has to be some type of a sweet spot where there's demand, there's always a constant demand there. It's not as simple as just saying build an 80,000 seater stadium, because where do you build it? If you want to make Anfield bigger, then obviously you have to look at the infrastructure that goes on in and around Anfield. You've got to have better public transport links, better facilities for restaurants, better noise. What's the word I'm looking for? You're going to have to minimise the disruption, of the people that live in and around Anfield as well. So there's so many things that are way above my pay grade that will go into that argument that there are people so much better than me and more qualified than me to discuss that subject. But from my point of view and from a very basic understanding, if you love Liverpool Football Club, then you love Liverpool Football Club, and fuck anybody that tells you otherwise. They've no right to tell you either way. You love what you love, you like what you like. And anybody else that tells you you've no right to do it, fuck them. Pretty much where I stand with most things in life, guys. Tybox said, if FEKIR really wants Liverpool moved down, why not hand in a transfer request? I do sense a Remy situation. LFC balked at signing Remy regarding his heart, and he was bought by Chelsea. I can understand that side of things as well, Tybox, mate. It is yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, we genuinely don't have a clue what's going on. We don't know why the deal didn't go through. We don't know what situation FEKIR is in now. We don't know what he's been told by Liverpool. We don't know what he's been told by his agent, and we don't know what he's been told by the club. So, yeah, we're all just guessing, mate. And I get you. I get where you're coming from. I'm as frustrated as anybody else. And if he does go and sign for Chelsea, or he does go and sign for somebody else, whilst deep down I will of course understand the decision that the club took, and you will know that the decision was made in the best interest of the football club, it's still going to cause a little bit of frustration. Kang Ozzy said, I'm from Africa, and let me tell you, my knowledge of LFC and support for the club will shock you. It wouldn't shock me at all, mate. I fully believe that you know a lot about the club and that you love the club as much as anybody else. I mean, I'm forever saying how beautiful the love for Liverpool Football Club is around the world, and the people that I've spoke to from Australia, America, Africa, the knowledge and the love they have for the club always blows me away. So, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I completely believe you as well. Sean96 said, it's their fault if they don't get tickets. Fuck them for blaming Reds who aren't from Liverpool. Yeah, you see, that makes us as bad as them, Sean, to an extent. We're taking that argument as well, buddy. It's a tough situation, as I keep saying. The way they may look at it is this, and again, I'm kind of trying to play devil's advocate here. So everybody's financial situation is different, okay? So maybe people from a specific part of the country are better paid than people from another part of the country, or maybe football is moving past being a working man's game and has almost gone to a middle class game. That's not really for me to say, but everybody has a reason and for why they can't get tickets, and in their mind and their heart that's a justified reason. So the fact that nobody can get these tickets and the fact that everybody's feeling frustrated is causing us all to lash out. We're all lashing out at perhaps the wrong people at times, and as I keep saying, I'm not really qualified to talk about this, but it's no other fan's fault why one set of fans can't get a ticket. There's definitely arguments to be had around the touts. There's definitely arguments to be had about some of the travel companies buying up tickets. I can understand those arguments 100% from both sides, but the arguments around just blaming overseas fans or blaming fans who can pay for a corporate ticket or things like that. I mean, everyone's personal circumstances are different. It's just a fucking crying shame that the availability of tickets isn't there for all of us. We'd all love a 90,000 seater stadium built tomorrow. We'd all love to just have to go online and click and buy a ticket. But sadly, we all happen to support the one club where a season ticket is like the golden ticket in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like it's near on impossible to come by. We know this though, sadly, and it hasn't changed in my adult lifetime yet. If anything, it's got worse. So this frustration will probably continue for a lot of people, me included. And I said to you guys many times, I've had to pay over the odds for tickets pretty much every time I've gone to watch Liverpool. Of course I don't like to do it, but it may stop me from going to a couple more games a season, but it's that or don't go. That's the only options that I have. So if they're the only options that I have, and I can afford to go to 4 games a year instead of 7 games a year, then I'm gonna have to go to 4 games a year or make a decision to just stop going and refuse to pay the prices. It's a shitty situation, so I really understand everybody's frustration, and it just goes back to there not being enough tickets. Whichever way we look at this argument, that's where it seems to go back to. What else have we got? Kang Ozzy said, Liverpool will sign a player, that's a fact. Klopp wants a creative player really badly. Blue Tick Gaming said Leon Bailey. Again, funnily enough, another player that's been fucking linked with Chelsea. I don't think there's been a player this summer that hasn't been linked with Chelsea by the looks of it. But Leon Bailey is a very, very good footballer with an exceptional pace. Tybox said they sold FEKIR. Atletico Madrid was Torres' boyhood team, but he still came to Liverpool, which is of course a very good point and absolutely true. Ray Heffernan said, just out of interest, is anybody else watching the recent United content on YouTube? I can't get enough. I haven't seen any of it, mate. I've said before I don't really get a chance to watch much stuff on YouTube, but I imagine that the meltdown would be rather funny. Liam said they are in the talking stage of development on the new expansion already after just 2 seasons, after they already revamped the whole new main stand. Shows the demand. Yeah, and again, I think the problem from a commercial aspect of building the Annie Road end seems to be that it will take a lot longer to get a return on investment because there's no corporate section in that main stand. And of course, us as fans say, fuck that. We don't care. Just more tickets, more seats, more tickets. The club will pay back eventually. And from our point of view, that's understandable. Then I suppose we look at it from the club's point of view, and they're thinking, well, these things have to pay for themselves. And I don't know, as I say, I'm nowhere near knowledgeable to talk about this. It's not something I feel comfortable having a very strong opinion about, because it'll be an ill-informed opinion. Damo said, I'm from Ireland and I've always felt welcome at Liverpool matches, though we don't get over often enough. Still on a high from seeing the Reds versus Napoli and Salah's screamer. Again, as you said, Damo, I've only had, I've had 99% positive experience every time I've gone over to Liverpool, and the one slightly negative thing I did have was very minimal as well. So yeah, as I say, I've always felt welcome when I've gone over to Liverpool. Liam said Chelsea will pay more wages, but at Liverpool you've more chance to become a legend. Johnny Longleg said FEKIR to Chelsea would not shock me because Hazard wants Real, and FEKIR signing would allow Chelsea to negotiate Hazard's exit before the 31st. That's a very good point, Johnny. That's a very good point. Yeah, so they're looking for something crazy, isn't it? Around was it 200 million or something stupid like that they valued Hazard at. I could be way off on that one. I just think I remember seeing that number somewhere. So yeah, maybe if they can get FEKIR in, then that would go some way to appeasing their fans if they lost Hazard. But I don't know how far it will go with them, but it would certainly appease them a little bit, surely. Bad Guitarist said, I'm from Liverpool and I'm happy to welcome all supporters from around the world. You'll never walk alone, always. And yeah, as Bad Guitarist has said, that's what I've encountered every time I've gone over to Liverpool as well. Just very warm, welcoming, friendly, fun-loving people. Salt of the earth people, just real sound, down-to-earth people. What have we got? Sindra said, is it possible for you to make predicted lineup videos, and also how do you think we will line up tomorrow? We will be making a lot of new content, Sindra, mate, going forward. We're still in discussion, and I know the season is close. We're still in discussion about exactly what that content will be. We're talking about making not match reaction videos, player rating videos as soon as the matches are over. I think Charlie has asked, can he make them? Predicted lineup videos, I'm not sure we do an entire video on it, but it's certainly something we could do as part of a video, mate. And put up images and stuff like that. That's entirely plausible. Yeah, I'll certainly raise that when we have a meeting tomorrow about the content going forward. So thank you for the suggestion, buddy, and I certainly will address it with the guys. Predicted lineup for tomorrow is one. Honestly, usually I would be able to give you an answer on the team I'm expecting, but after hearing Klopp saying in the press conference on Saturday that he has no idea what type of team he's going to be putting out tomorrow, I really am lost. I have absolutely no idea what to expect, mate. I really don't. As you guys know on here, I'm fond of a bet most of the time, but I've stayed away from this one as well until I see the team, because I genuinely don't have a clue what to expect with the game coming up on Sunday. David Gibbs said, I'm Jamaican. Leon Bailey will be a good fit for Liverpool. He wants to move to the English Premier League. Joseph said, sure, you only have to look at the Aviva. The place was packed. We need 100,000 seater stadium. It is crazy every time, and I'm sure any Irish person down here knows, or even Norwegian people know, because there's a shitload of them every week as well. If ever you go to Dublin Airport or Dublin Ferry Port or anything like that, there's just coaches and coaches pulling up every single week to go over to Liverpool. The ferry is it's a tough old jaunt to go over to Liverpool on the ferry. It's a long ass day, especially if you're doing the day trip, and I imagine the same from Norway and stuff with flights. But yeah, when you see at the game, when you look around Stanley Park and you see the amount of coaches that are parked around there that have come from all over Ireland, UK, other parts of Europe, it's fucking crazy quite how far this football club reaches. So you imagine all them fans all around the world as well as the local fans, and imagine the demand that's there for the tickets. It's there's a reason why they're like gold dust, and the more a team is successful and the more attacking style of football they play, the more superstars at the club, obviously the more demand there are going to be for tickets, and it's only going to get worse. It's one of the real downsides of success. And there aren't many, to be fair. I mean, success, as fans, there isn't many downsides to our club being successful at times, but that may be one of them. Crosby Red is in. Good evening. Thomas said, what are we going to do if John Achterberg breaks Alisson like all our other keepers? Mate, I promise you, if he breaks my Alisson Becker, then we'll have further talks down the line and we'll sort out something. I forgot to say, I'm going to be joined very soon, actually. I don't know quite what time, but very soon, by Cash. So she's going to jump on tonight's stream, so that'll be a bit of fun. So we'll see Cash fairly soon. So I'm just waiting for a message from Cash and I'll add her in. So we'll have a chat with Cash and see how she feels, because Cash is an Irish person, obviously, but an Irish person that lives in Liverpool. So Cash might be able to give us a unique perspective on the locals versus overseas fan situation. Connor said we could do a stream the night before the game that are full preview, including lineup predictions. As I said earlier on, that is certainly something we can work in to a stream. Some screen share and stuff like that with images and predicted lineups, as Connor said. So yeah, it's a very good idea, so thank you for that one. Richie said, Richie said, we're 4-1 to win the league. Really think we're going to come out of the blocks flying. Klopp will play every other game like a cup final this year. I think I got us a 5-1 actually, Richie. Maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, so I'm feeling a little bit better about that now. Luke said, hiya Craig, how are you? I'm very good, thank you Luke. I had a pretty frustrating day trying to sort out an issue with the online club store, but I think I've got somewhere with it. So I had a message from Peter Moore today, and he asked me to forward him on some emails about the issues that I've been having, and I'm hoping to have a phone call with the head of the club's online retail division tomorrow at 2:00 to address those issues. So fingers crossed that that works and I get some positive feedback, I suppose, or some genuine empathy about what's after happening, because it's been a pretty frustrating day in that sense. I felt like I've been banging my head against the wall for some of the day, but at the end of the day they did reach out, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow and hopefully everything will be ironed out. Shane said, hi Craig, do you watch Duncan Oldham's channel? He doesn't come across as a nice fella, but he certainly seems to know what's going on behind closed doors at Anfield. I don't, mate. I don't watch any other YouTube stuff. If I do, I usually watch Daz. But apart from that, there's not really much I watch on YouTube, because I genuinely don't have much time to do. Any spare time I have, I'm either making content or editing content, so I don't, unfortunately. Liam said, Liverpool, Manchester and London are the cities that can sustain two major teams at the highest level in football. It's just a shame Liverpool only have one though at this moment in time, isn't it? But you know, we are where we are on that one. I'm sure the Blue Noses would have something different to say about it. Crosby Red said, thankfully we sorted Alisson before Chelsea realised Courtois was AWOL. There's been some brilliant images going around today about where's Courtois and stuff like that. It's been real fun today seeing some of them floating around on Twitter. And you're right, I'm so glad we got Alisson before anything like that happened and a bidding war broke out. But I still think the player wanted to go to Liverpool anyway. If I'm being really honest about it, I think his first choice was always Real Madrid. Hand on heart, I really do feel that way. But, you know, Madrid didn't go after him, we did, we got the player, and he's a Liverpool football player now, so it's all good in the end. Robert Coggin said, I can see all the new signings starting so they can get a feel of Anfield and the fans. Oh yeah, that's actually, do you know what, how dense am I? I'm only just realising that this will be their first game at Anfield. Because you've seen all the games that's been played over the summer, they've all been away from home, haven't they? Yeah, so this will be a lot of their first time playing at Anfield. It's a really good point, and one that should have been fairly obvious to me. Pepper Red said, I was on Man U subscriber stream earlier on. It was funny watching them all looking back at the good old days. And they call us the club that look back to history. Isn't that funny? They call us the people that were stuck in a time warp and the people that were always talking about the past. As I said to you guys the other day, reality is really hitting home now for the Manx, and fuck them, as I keep saying, fuck them indeed. Dirty Girl said, it's a disgrace LFC haven't built an 80,000 seater stadium at the Old Speak Airport. It's an interesting theory. I always would have loved the idea of a waterfront stadium in Liverpool city centre, and I don't mean like Everton's Bramley fucking Apple Pie in the Sky stadium. I mean right where the Echo is, like somewhere like that, right on in the heart of the city, on the waterfront. Can you imagine how amazing that would have been? Look, obviously Anfield is Anfield, but if you had to move somewhere, that was always the dream that I thought would have been absolutely amazing. Right on the waterfront of the city, I thought would have been beautiful. Blue Tick Gaming said, rumours saying that Anthony Taylor is good news for the Hammers. Do you believe in reruns? I think every Premier League referee has been shite, mate, over the past couple of seasons. So whether we get Anthony Taylor or whether we get any of the other referees, Paulson or any of those other clowns, they're all as bad as each other. I think the only thing we can hope for is that we just go so far ahead and we just put the game to bed that even the worst of refereeing decisions can fuck us over, which no doubt they will at times during the season. We all know last year we were on the end of some absolutely farcical decisions, particularly around penalties. The Spurs game is one that jumps to mind. I actually kept a list of shitty decisions that went against Liverpool, would you believe, for podcast reasons throughout the season. Luke said, I went on a day trip from Dublin Port to Everton FA Cup game. It's a fucking nightmare, Luke, isn't it? It's a long ass day, like it's a full 24 hours of getting on the coach, getting on the ferry, getting off the ferry, driving to wherever you're driving to. If it's Liverpool straight away, great. Sometimes you have a stop off on the way. You get into Liverpool City Centre then. If the game's at 3 o'clock, then you could be in Liverpool City Centre by 9 o'clock in the morning. Then you've got a few hours there. Then you get back on the coast. You get dropped off at Anfield. If it's raining, then you're fucking stuck around Anfield for a few hours in the rain. Sometimes you can go get something to eat. Sometimes you go into the stadium. You go to the game then and you're often turning around coming straight back. It's a long, long day to go and just watch a 90-minute game of football. Ian Turlington says, good evening all, just behind the Died Chav FPL League. Brilliant. Thank you for joining, buddy. Hopefully we'll have a bit of fun on that throughout the season. I've said before, I'm absolutely shite when it comes to FPL. I mean really shite. And it's not because I don't try, I'm just terrible at it. Is this Haggai? Jennifer said, we need Nabil Fekir for creative men finder, please. I'm not really sure. I think she means for creativity, which we do lack that player. Oh cool, Cash is ready to jump on, so bear with me 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to try add Cash in, so let me just put my earphones in and let me try get Cash on, so bear with me 2 seconds. The Fantasy Premier League thing is something that we probably should have sorted out a little bit earlier, guys. I do apologise. I just didn't know if it's something that everybody will be up for or that people will be interested in. It's only that Charlie said it to me the other day that he'd actually set one up, but he just hadn't put it out there, so apologies. That's probably my fault. It probably should have been done a lot sooner, but it's done now and it's for subscribers only, so it's not even going to be going out on Twitter to the Twitter users. It's just for the people on the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. So let me just get Cash on anyway and we'll have a little chat with Cash and see how she's feeling. Right, where are we going? That one and that one. Sorry guys, there's just so many buttons to press here to get somebody on, so bear with me. Right, so we've done that and that. As for tomorrow, as I said, I really haven't got a clue what type of team to expect Liverpool to put out tomorrow. I actually don't know what to expect from Torino either. Do you guys know much about Torino? I have to be honest and say, other than Bellotti, is that the striker's name? There's not very much I know about Torino other than Joe Hart was there last year, and aren't they Juventus's city rivals? I think that's about all I know about Torino, if I'm being honest. My knowledge is severely limited. Okay, what's going on? Come on. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just trying to get this open up to get Cash on. So many things running on the laptop that it's just taking a second, so apologies. I hate any dead air time, so as soon as this opens up, then I will be able to send it to Cash, and Cash will be able to join us. Okay, do you know what? I'll go back to that in a second. Let me read through more comments. apparently Allison has been handed the number 1 jersey, said Cobra. I seen earlier on, are you basing that off the post from Loris Karius? A couple of people were saying that Loris Karius posted earlier on. I did see that post, but he didn't sign it off with his usual LK1 or whatever it is that he usually uses. So yeah, if that's the case, then maybe. A couple of people are saying that he hasn't been. I don't know. Has it been confirmed actually? Because it's something we've been talking about a lot. Is he going to have 13? Is he going to have 1? You'd imagine that a world record breaking goalkeeper, a fee that hasn't been paid for any other keeper, you'd imagine that he would have number 1. But these are strange times we live in with football players and their numbers. So never say never. Right. So I've sent that to Cash. So Cash should be on in a second. So hopefully we'll be able to get Cash's perspective on. Oh, Anfield HQ saying Allison's been given the number 1, said Connor. Sorry, I just seen that there now. And I agree. He absolutely deserves it. You don't go and spend 67 million quid on a keeper and not give him the number 1 if he wants it, of course, and he does want it clearly because he has it in his gloves. What else have we got? It's not letting me join the league, says Owen. Are you getting a particular error message, Owen? I don't know, buddy. As I said, this is why I don't set these things up. But let me see. Can you tell me what's gone wrong? Is the code not correct for you? If the code's not correct, then email me or send me your email address, or just email me anything from Anfield Agenda or to anfieldagenda@outlook.com, and I will make sure somebody sends you an email invite to the league, so you'll be able to get in that way, mate. So anfieldagenda@outlook.com. Just send us a quick email from there, and that'll give us your email address, and I'll make sure somebody gets in contact with an email invite for you to join the league. That's if you can't sort it out in the meantime, but do keep in contact and let me know on. Right, so we nearly have Cash on. Just 1 second. Thank Fook for that, Connor, said Joseph. Right, let me see. Do we have Cash?
Yeah.
There we go. Excellent. Can everybody hear Cash? Can you just confirm that in the chat for me? Cash, give us a couple of those beautiful words.
Hi guys, hope we're all good.
Okay, let me just... Yeah, just bear with me, Cash. I'm just trying to make sure everybody can hear you. Yeah, Dirty Girl said, yeah, we can hear it. Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Right, Cash. So the big topic today, and I think you might be in a good perspective or unique perspective to give us your view on this. There's been a lot of stuff going around today of the locals versus, non-locals when it comes to tickets and stuff like that. And apparently there's been a bit of bad blood, once again, flying around. So I gave the guys my perspective on this, and that I think all this has been driven by a lack of tickets, and the lack of ticket availability is causing fans to turn on each other. So as somebody who is originally from Ireland but is now living in Liverpool, maybe you can give us your view on what might cause this divide between the fans.
I think it's exactly as you say, Craig. It's, if you look to the true source of the problem, it's not that or fans or the fans from Liverpool hate fans that aren't from Liverpool, but unfortunately what happens is that there are a dearth of tickets. It's almost seen as like an impossible thing to get a ticket or to become a season ticket holder unless there's a season ticket in your family or whatever. And I think that impossibility just means fans are looking for someone to blame, and when you're looking for someone to blame, they've already expanded Anfield once. They're potentially going to do it again, but even if they do, it's not going to satisfy the demand. So there's always going to be that thing of, well, who do we blame? We blame people who they don't. Well, it's that primal thing of, oh, well, let's blame people that aren't from Liverpool. They're coming in and taking our tickets. It's kind of that sort of bullshit thing you get with people that are anti-immigration when they say they're coming in and taking all our jobs, and it's that same thing. It's like it's driven from the fact that the problem is from a different source, but when you can't really attack that source, you blame other things. And I think it's totally wrong. I think no fan, no matter your postcode, like birth postcode or residing postcode, no fan is more important than any other. And it is just unfortunate that some people take their frustrations out in that way, because realistically it's not the true source of your frustration. So yeah, that's my view. My view is the same as yours. I think the reasons are, as you say, but people could display their frustrations differently. But unfortunately, I think it will always be a bone of contention, and something that's resorted to in arguments.
From the club side as well, there almost has to be a sweet spot for them, doesn't there, between supply and demand? So there has to be a situation where there's always demand there for the tickets, and they're never left with empty seats inside the stadium. There has to be that sweet spot of numbers for them as well.
Well, I think the thing about it is, though, unfortunately, there are situations where, okay, it's not like Man City where basically they don't even fill like half their stadium, or at least it doesn't look like they do. But like there are games, where there are empty seats at Anfield. Not every single seat is full, and there are games where, particularly in the hospitality section, there are not hundreds of empty seats, but there are certainly a noticeable number of empty seats. So I do think the club could do more. I really do. I think the club could really demonstrate that it is truly a Liverpool family, um, rather than that just being, a seemingly empty sentiment in this particular scenario. So I think they definitely could do more, but it is a very difficult thing to do, because how do you police that properly? How do you make sure that, every bum is on seats? Because there's very few games where I, as a member, I've gone on to try and buy tickets and I'm never able to do so. Even if it goes on general sale at whatever amount, or even if it goes on member sale at X o'clock, it's sold out by like X01. So, the club do sell all the tickets, but that doesn't mean that every single seat is occupied for every game. But like as you say, the club once again are trying to balance a series of competing interests. So you've got fans that are local, fans that are not local. You've got the desire to create an atmosphere, which some people say, maybe rightly, maybe wrongly, is better created by local fans. And then you've obviously got the financial aspect of the club. So there's lots of competing interests, and not all of them can be reconciled, in my opinion.
Yeah, my view on this as well is that this is an argument that's way above my pay grade, and something that I don't really feel comfortable giving my views on, because they're very ill informed views and I don't like to put false opinions out there. So, from my sense, I kind of try and just give my view on it, as ill informed as it is and as minor as it is, but I can only speak from my experiences, and everybody has different experiences. But if we look to tomorrow, Cash, Liverpool's, I suppose,
Mm.
their first preseason game at Anfield, but the last preseason game of this preseason, obviously. What are you expecting? Because I have no idea what type of 11 Klopp might put out there tomorrow.
It is very, very hard to say. I mean, I think there's obviously some absences that you would totally expect. In the sense that, the English lads, maybe Trent will get some time. Jordan Henderson's only just come back then. Lovren, has he come back, or is he just about to come back? He might have come back yesterday or today.
I think
Um,
Lovren's back training.
he,
I think he is back.
yeah, so he won't feature, you wouldn't think. Maybe a little cameo. He's probably still. We don't really know the exact sort of gap in time between them returning to training and them being back on the pitch. I mean, obviously with Lovren, he's not actually been off for that long, and his recovery time may well be reduced on that basis. So I don't think we'll see him. We may see him, but I think that'd be kind of pointless if he doesn't plan on playing him against West Ham, which I think he won't, because he probably he probably is not quite ready to play that high intensity of a game, which is fair enough. So I don't think we'll see Lovren. Don't think we'll see Jordan Henderson unless a cameo. I don't think he's fit for 45. But then Bobby Firmino came back quite quickly and straight into a 45. So it is just really, really hard to say. We'll not obviously see James Milner. I would presume he's going to be out for a little while with that head injury, obviously got in the Napoli game. And then in terms of who we will see, you'd expect Alisson to start again with Karius coming on in the second half. You'd expect a back four of Gomez, Van Dijk to start, with Robertson and Klein, and then obviously you can alternate in Trent, Nat Phillips in the centre back position. I think Clavan's not quite fit either. Neither's Matip. Then you could obviously play Alberto Moreno. Then your midfielders obviously you've got Fabinho, Keita, maybe Henderson for a little bit, Gini Wijnaldum. Who am I? Have I missed someone? Central midfield. Possibly not. Then we've got obviously, your offensive options will be largely the same. So I honestly don't know what kind of 11 he'll put out. Will he put out his 11 that he plans to use against West Ham, but for the people he can't play, or will he put out an 11 that reflects the fact that he wants to make sure everyone is completely unscathed for the West Ham game? It's hard to say. I think it'll be a mixture of both, to be honest with you.
I think we might see the likes of Origi Possibly, I'm not sure about Danny Ings, but maybe some players that are still in the window as well, still in the shop window, get some minutes.
Well, I, that has to be what that exercise. If they're going to be, if they're going to play those players, that's got to be the reason why. Because, Divock Origi is now not going to play his way back into, Jurgen Klopp's plans. Danny Ings obviously wants to leave and has handed in a transfer request. Although I do find it odd that he has yet to move on. I find that that's a bit strange. I feel like that transfer request really should have started a scramble for his signature, but it hasn't. So yeah, I think the likes of those may well play to put themselves in the shop window. It may well be like well, boys, this might be your last appearance on Anfield, so go out and enjoy it. And I'm not a big fan of Origi. I am more so of Ings, but even so, you couldn't begrudge those players that opportunity. You may well see players like Kiravella, who obviously we did have a bid accepted for him, but he chose not to go to Rosenborg. Then you've got Marco Grujic. I expect will play.
Do you think he's going to move on to Cardiff before the window closes?
It's kind of gone quiet, hasn't it? The Grujic rumor or the Grujic interest. I mean, obviously Cardiff still want him, but it seems to be held up by various things. I think it would be a totally beneficial move for both parties, actually. But whether it goes through in time, obviously we've got to consider the fact that there are currently now 3 days left in the window, which is madness when you really think about it. At least for Premier League clubs. So if they're going to do business, they're going to have to do it quickly. So yeah, I think it'll be a game where there'll be a mixture of quality and the more fringe players on display. And I think, as Klopp said in a recent interview, this is just the club's way of giving back to the fans who live in the city who want to go and watch, a pre-season game against a quality outfit. And Torino aren't as good as some of the teams we face, but they're no mugs. So
They're better since
I
Joe
think,
Hart fucking left.
yes, Joe Hart, who I was going to say he'll be facing us on Sunday, but he's no longer at West Ham. He's gone back to City to then go to Burnley. We bitched about Joe Hart extensively the other night. But yeah, I mean, Torino are probably better for his absence, so it says it all, really. But yeah, I think it'll be a nice exercise. But ultimately, you just want to come through, have won the game, and then go into the weekend with a clean bill of health. I think it's interesting that largely the pre-season has been very, very positive. I think we've only lost one game, winning the rest. So it really is a good opportunity to begin some pre-season momentum if that's possible. Particularly when you consider that City won the Charity Shield yesterday. It's something of a relative canter, if we're being honest. They were well out of Chelsea's league, and I only saw the first half, but they looked completely streets ahead of Chelsea. So obviously it's imperative we start the season well.
I want to touch on something Joseph Reardon has put into the chat here, and I know it's something that you'd have an interest in. Joseph talking about Rafa Benitez today getting Solomon Rondon in a bit of a weird loan move with Dwight Gale going the other way and £2 million as well going to West Brom. That does seem a little bit odd to me. Now Joseph suggests that maybe Rafa's trying to push to get Danny Ings in, and maybe that's where the money is going. But I would suggest that it's just Mike Ashley being a tight bastard.
Yeah, I think Mike Ashley and Rafa Benitez's relationship is incredibly strained, to the point where he's Rafa's kind of doing that thing that Jose Mourinho does, in the sense that he's talking to his CEO and the board through the press, but Rafa's doing it in a way that everyone totally understands why he has to do it, because his hands are so tied and the purse strings are so tied. Jose Mourinho's just doing it because he's a little bitch, But I think with that will go some way to placating Rafa a bit, because undoubtedly they needed another striker, and they needed someone who knew the league. And I think actually Solomon Rondon, with Kennedy and Ritchie firing the balls into him, I think he'll be a good player for them. And I think, I don't really think he's an outstanding striker, but I think he's good enough. And I think Dwight Gale has shown, despite the fact that he's been heroic against Liverpool when he's played, particularly in the we'd rather forget about it, but about the 3-3 against Crystal Palace. But Dwight Gale is predominantly a championship player, so I think Newcastle are training a championship forward for a relatively proven Premiership one. So hopefully that'll be enough to keep their heads above water this season. But in terms of the actual deal, I think Mike Ashley is just completely against the idea of spending money, and it's sad really, because obviously they got 22 million plus potential add-ons for Mitrovic, so the money is there, but they're just not giving it to Rafa. And they've signed players, but it's all been done on a shoestring. 4 million for Key on a free transfer, 4 million for Dubravka, 3 million for Shar, the centre back. You've got Kennedy on a loan. You've got Muto for 9 million. It's all their net spend's going to be very low. So yeah, it's going to be another tough season for Rafa.
Liam wants to know, does Cash read these comments at all? And the answer no, is no, Liam, because Cash is on a different system. Cash is just on her laptop now. Cash hasn't got access to the comment screen that I have because she's not on YouTube. She is on the network that we use for the calls and the stream. So no, she doesn't actually. That's the reason I read them out to her, because Cash hasn't got the same screen in front of her that I have. So if anybody thinks Cash is just ignoring them,
screening them and only reading me the nice ones, I appreciate that.
that's alright, Cash. I mean, there's 12, 13 more marriage proposals here for us to get through.
Oh, lovely.
Chelsea, Cash. Let's have a little.
The win.
Actually, before I move on to Chelsea, you were gigging tonight, weren't you? Were you doing a bit of charity gig?
Yeah, no, I was doing Hot Water is like the big comedy club in Liverpool, and they've got like they're massive now, like huge. The way that they've turned it into, anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is they've got one big venue and then they've opened up a new one where this really iconic bar called the Magnet used to be in Liverpool, but they've bought over the venue, kept some of the features, but then they've made it into like a secondary venue. So I was just running some new material tonight that I'm trying, and because they had like a new material night. So yeah, it went brilliantly, to be honest. Absolutely, like felt really confident about it. It was good.
I have to say, I've honestly seen them in my stream a lot more, the Hot Water Comedy Club. Maybe I'm just noticing them more, but I've seen them a lot more on my stream in the recent couple of weeks.
Yeah, their advertising sort of network, shall we say, is pretty extensive. They're run by a couple of guys, that are two brothers. One is incredibly good at like all the sort of the entrepreneurial aspect, the advertising, the marketing, etc., and so on, and the other is very good at basically renovating the venues, having a vision for what he wants it to look like. And then they've got this MC who's obviously really, really well known now, Paul Smith. He's become really almost like viral famous off the back of MCing at their comedy club, and has like done like a tour across different venues in England. He even won in Glasgow, one in Belfast, and he's become massive. So their whole sort of empire, if you like, is really growing all the time, and it's lucky because I know them reasonably well. If I want to go down and run some new material, I can most times that I ask, and but the goal would be to be able to be on their professional nights, like the nights where they pay the big bucks and so on, because the atmosphere is incredible.
I do love a comedy night, I have to say. Every time I go out in Liverpool, if I have some time and I am there of an evening, I do like to attend comedy clubs in Liverpool, because there's some really good ones for such a, I won't say small city, but for a city the size of Liverpool's, there's quite a lot of comedy venues.
Well, that's it. You've got obviously Baby Blue, you've got Laughter House, and then Hot Water's just like sucked all of theirs up in the sense of like they've just become massive, and like they're booking them because they've got two venues now as well. They have acts like Russell Kane, for example, that are doing doubles. So doing one set at one venue, then just walking across is about a 10-minute walk, doing another set at the other venue. And they've got Chris Ramsey's been there recently, the guy that won Britain's Got Talent, the Lost Voice guy is coming. The guy that won it the year before, is it Deliso? I've forgotten the surname. Some really, big names, perform there. And as I say, they've built that from nothing. They used to do it in like a hotel room or like a hotel suite, conference room type thing, and they've built it from there, and it's now massive. So it really does put Liverpool on the map in terms of a good comedy city.
Yeah, I do love a good success story as well. It's always great to see things start small, gradually build up, and not just have an overnight success, but as you said, they put the hard yards in, and they're steadily growing their fan base, growing their network, growing their acts, and it's great to see.
Well, that's it. If you can draw very clear comparisons, but okay, yeah, we're further behind in the process, if you like, but you can draw clear comparisons between what they've done and what we're trying to do. You start from relative means, you build a product and a fan base that people really believe in, and then when the opportunity strikes, you expand it exponentially. And I think that's what we're obviously going to try and do with this. And there are certainly correlations to be drawn. It's not like completely similar, obviously, but there are certainly things that you could say, yeah, that there's similarities.
Sorry for cutting across. I just see a question in the chat, and you know the chat that you can't see, Cash. You know that one. I see a
Yes,
question
that's the one that I can't see.
in here from Martin O'Neill, and he said possibly a silly question, but do you guys not have super chat on the YouTube live for videos for donations? No, is the answer there. I've explained it before. You to have super chat on, you have to be approved for monetization by YouTube or to become a YouTube partner, I think they call it. We were denied for copyright infringement, and fuck knows what that was. But as Connor said there in the chat, we were denied. We have to reapply. We have to wait a specific amount of time before we do so. But because of that, we can't take super chat donations. We can't make money from advertising, anything like that on the channel whatsoever yet. So if you did want to, Martin, if you were looking to buy Connor a pint or send something our way, patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. You can do it on there, buddy. Cash, Chelsea. Today, Chelsea have been linked with a move from Nabil Fekir. I want to know, do you think this is lazy journalism because Chelsea are playing Lyon tomorrow in a friendly, and because the transfer window is closing, because Chelsea aren't getting in any players, and because Fekir hasn't got his move to Liverpool yet?
I mean, I think there's the first thing is he's obviously not going to move there because the Chelsea players are all fucking rent boys. So that's point number one.
Just to confirm, every single one of them, mate. Every single one of them.
Yeah, especially Ross Barkley. Don't know why, but just especially him.
He's fucking useless, by the way. Absolutely useless.
I don't know what happened with Conte last season. He had some sort of like nervous breakdown where he felt like he just needed to sign all these mediocre English players. Danny Drinkwater's still on their books as well. Fucking metal. Yeah. So in terms of Chelsea, I think that is lazy, isn't it? You know, it's there's been no inkling of him being linked with anybody but Liverpool, Fekir. First of all, and secondly, there's so little time left in the window. Aulas is already a notorious wanker to deal with. He's not going to be any less of a wanker to deal with in a in a limited time frame. There's also the fact that what's Fekir going to move there for? He's moving there to play Europa League football. He's got Champions League football with Lyon. As far as I'm aware, they made the Champions League. At least they made the yeah. So why would that's an absolute unequivocal downgrade. You look at that as well. If you're a player coming in to Chelsea, there's no certainty there. Like, there's no settled squad. Yeah, okay. There's only a few days left of the Premier League window, but that doesn't discount the fact that it looks more likely that Thibaut Courtois will go to Real Madrid. But then you've also got Eden Hazard, who could potentially go elsewhere. So if you're a player coming in, or potentially coming in, I'm looking at that team and I'm thinking, the only midfielders or the only players really certain to be there are probably, of the real top quality. I don't see Kante actually going anywhere. I think he'll stay. You'd say that Fabregas will still be there. Morata's still going to be there. Pedro signed a new deal. Doesn't look like Willian's going to get that move to Barcelona, although it's not completely dead in the water. But you wouldn't say that they're all definitely still going to be there. And obviously, so much of that team is built around Hazard and Courtois. That I wouldn't want to sign for them unless I was sure they were going to be there. So yeah, I think it's lazy journalism, and it'd be completely foolhardy of Fekir to move there. I think it would be a regret for him, notwithstanding the fact that, by all accounts, and you can't help but admire that Napoli team from last year. Sarri is probably a very good manager, but it's going to take him time to get that squad A, settled, and B, playing a good brand of football. So yeah, if I was Fekir, I wouldn't even consider it, because they're all rent boys.
So I'm reading a comment here, guys. It's funny, it's happening in live time. I'm reading a comment on our Twitter account that says, hey Anfield Agenda, obviously you guys have all the podcast subscribers you need and aren't interested in American listeners. Here's some news. There are plenty more podcasts to listen to beside yourselves. So we've unsubscribed and we'll be advising LFC Seattle to do the same. I have no fucking idea what this lad's on about. I haven't got a fucking Scooby-Doo what this lunatic is talking about. I don't even remember ever having a conversation with this person. And to suggest, how many people on here, by the way, who are watching right now, if you can let me know how many people on here are American Reds that are watching this channel right now or that listen to our podcasts. Because I think, to be fair, all I ever do is say how great overseas fans are and how great American fans are and how much I love the dedication shown by American Reds. So I've no fucking idea what this clown is on about, Cash.
I think also, he really needs to do his due diligence in the sense that you go to America on your holidays pretty much every year. You love America. You you take your kids there, you have aspirations to, potentially go there for longer stints than you already do. So I mean, I think that idea that you somehow think American listeners aren't as important is a bit ridiculous, and founded upon no actual knowledge.
It's nuts. I'm reading through here and people are just saying, yeah, I'm an American. And Pepper Red said, that sounds like a complaint, Craig. It really does, Pepper Red, but a complaint about what? I have no fucking idea. Jesus Christ, some
Just
people are just away with the fairies.
well, just to entirely clear it up, I think we can all clarify that on behalf of Craig, myself, and everyone at the Anfield Agenda, we love everyone. So there is literally, I don't think of fans as American fans or Australian fans or Irish fans. I think of fans as fans. It's we've got there's that sorry, pardon me, there's the food bank thing that people have heard about, the food banks where the slogan is hunger doesn't wear club colours, and I think it's similar in the sense of like, being a fan doesn't wear a nationality, you're just a fan. So
I honestly have no idea what this lunatic is talking about, but it's bugging me enough that I want to find out about it now. But look, that's for another time. What else have we got? Can you put in the FPL code in the chat again, please? Somebody has asked, Jamie asked. I will. Just bear with me 2 seconds, Jamie, mate. I'll get that and put it in the chat. So, Cash, between now and the transfer window on Thursday, are you expecting much to be done within the Premier League?
I think within the Premier League generally, yeah, there's going to be like sort of a variation of scrambles and so on. I don't think there's going to be that. I actually don't think there's going to be any incomings now for us. I think we're done. In terms of the Premier League, I think we discussed this in a previous stream, Craig, that just because of the way the window is and the fact that the summer has felt so short with the World Cup and all of these things, it does genuinely feel like there may not be that much like sort of seismic movement on the last day, particularly within the Premier League, because the European window is still open and they can still come to the Premier League. So I think it's going to be you're almost going to have like a bit of a here's the ending to the transfer window, and then when the European one ends, it'll be like, here's the ending to the transfer window. I think it's going to be a bit weird and disjointed, if I'm honest. But in terms of the Premier League, you could see some movement, but I don't see any massive movement between particular clubs unless maybe Harry Maguire or Toby Alderweireld go to Man United. I think that one of those could potentially happen. More likely to be Alderweireld, to be honest. But apart from that, I don't really see any massive movements. Unless I'm missing something. Obviously, United have got this burning desire to sign people, but whether they can get anything else over the line by the 9th, I don't know.
Do you think that we're going to see Butland end up at Chelsea, which I find very, very funny, I have to say?
If he does, it's a hell of a move for him. But if he does as well, you've got to look at Chelsea and be like, Chelsea's goalkeeping options would read Rob Green, Willie Caballero, Jack Butland. That's like worse than when we had like Ward, Bogdan, and fucking Mignolet. Like that's decidedly worse. I mean, I think with the Chelsea situation, I think Hazard is really excellent. No one's denying that, but I think if they lost, Courtois would be way worse for them. In the sense of, I don't think they've got anything approaching his level of quality, either at the club at the moment or that they could bring in. So, Jack Butland could come in, but it's, he was England's number 2 for a reason. It's because he was distinctly worse than Jordan Pickford, who plays for a much worse club than Chelsea. So that's not to say Jordan Pickford isn't an excellent goalkeeper, because despite the fact that he's a blue, I really think he is a very good goalkeeper. But the point that I'm making is that, Jack Butland goes to Chelsea for 30 million. Great deal for Stoke, great deal for the player, but Chelsea are, I wouldn't be overly excited by that. But then again, I could be proven wrong. He could really rise to the occasion and be excellent at Chelsea, but I'm not inclined to believe that, Jack Butland going to Chelsea makes them much stronger. I really think Chelsea are at serious risk of not being in the top 4 for 2 seasons in a row, and, you could probably already start to label this a transition season for them, unless Sarri works his unbelievable magic. We'll have to wait and see.
And I probably won't get a chance to talk to you before the window closes, so I just want to get your opinion, and everybody in the chat as well, if you guys want to share this as well. How do you feel the window has gone for Liverpool with regards to incomings? Are you satisfied with the business done by the club? Are you satisfied with the prices that we've paid for players? And are you satisfied with any prices that we've gotten for players. And actually saying that now, I can't really remember us selling too many.
No, I mean, have we actually sold anyone for like money?
That's what I'm trying to think of here. Have we? Oh, we hang
Yeah,
on. We did. We moved
I don't.
somebody on, didn't we? We moved somebody on with a buyback clause, didn't we? Or am I just thinking
Who?
of the deal for Shearvell that didn't go through?
Well, it didn't go through. I literally don't think they've actually like. A lot of people have gone out on loan or left on free transfers. So like, Kent and John Flanagan,
Oh, with
Ajara,
Danny
all these
Ward.
players
Danny
have gone
Ward.
out. Danny Ward, that's it. Sorry, yes, pardon me. Okay, so I mean, in terms of like our window, I think we. I mean, I'm delighted with our window. I think it's the best transfer window we've had in fucking years. Like, some people who I would describe as negative may point to the fact that we've not got FEKIR or whatever, but I think taking that out of it, the window's been basically perfect. We've signed the players, we've signed them early. Everyone that we've signed has got 2 to 3 weeks to maybe slightly less than 3 weeks to bed into the new system, to the new team that they're in. They can all go in and improve the first team immediately. So if you look at that in true and honest terms, it's pardon me, it couldn't be a better window for us. It really couldn't be. And I think the biggest thing for us is that we've solved the goalkeeping issue. That has been the perennial kind of problem area for season upon season. It genuinely feels resolved now. Yes, at a hefty price, but once again with Virgil van Dijk, they don't really talk about the price anymore because he's been so good. So I would say I'm delighted with the signings. I'm not delighted with the prices that we've paid, but I'm accepting of the prices that we've paid. I accept it as part and parcel of the market that we now live in. And I really wouldn't ask for anything more. But then again, we could end up, going through a really sticky patch in the middle of the season and be lamenting the fact that we didn't buy another centre back or we didn't buy another midfielder or whatever. You just don't know what's going to happen. But for the moment, I'm delighted. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty damn good win though. I still can't get my head around the Fakir situation. If I'm being honest, I can't. I can't get my head around this whole idea of January or any reason as to why this deal would have to be pushed on to another window. It just doesn't add up to me whatsoever. It either happens now in my mind or it doesn't happen.
It does feel oddly sort of lingering, if that makes sense. I mean, it's one of those where it doesn't feel like it'll be over until the fat lady sings, and I have yet to sing. I think no, I'm joking, but like it won't be. As I've said numerous times, it's the lack of clarity or clarifying statement from the club that makes everyone believe, well, it could still be possible, but it's highly unlikely. But it's not one where I see, if he stays at Lyon, I see him staying at Lyon for the season. I don't see him leaving in January. I can't see Aulas like sanctioning that. In terms of us, pardon me, we may well have such a good start to the season that Klopp says, well, we didn't need him anyway, and we're certainly not going to go back in for him now. But it does feel like, unless it's medical, in which case obviously you've got to accept the word of the sports science people. But unless it's medical, I can see no tangible other reason why that move didn't transpire. And it's just a real shame for the player, because he gave an interview today, obviously, to Leon's in-house TV channel, where he said he was, obviously happy to be back, and all the sort of critically correct spiel that you've got to say. But I would highly doubt that that's his actual mindset. He's probably very unhappy at the way things have played out.
Robert Coggins asks, do you think Liverpool can make a deal for Fakir similar to the way we did with Keita, or get him in the next window? I think we pretty much addressed that one, Cash. I don't see any way that Liverpool buy him and then get him next year. If they're worried about his knee particularly, that would make no sense.
No, I don't think so. I think it's I think the situation with the Leipzig was unique for two reasons. I think firstly, the Leipzig model, the way the club is like basically a construct, and it's got evidently no real soul or history and so on and so forth. I think it's much more of a business, in that way, and therefore you can strike a deal with them as purely a business. But I think Lyon as a club probably consider themselves much more of an institution, and wouldn't really. I don't think they'd really buy into the idea that they're going to be on the receiving end of such a deal like that. It's like, oh, we'll we'll buy your biggest asset, but you can keep him for the year, keep him warm for us, and so on and so forth. I feel like they would perceive that as a real damning kind of like reflection on their status within the game if they were to be party to something like that. So, and also it doesn't really benefit the club. We saw what happened with Keita and Leipzig. Yes, Keita was still excellent in large patches last year, but you undoubtedly didn't see the player of the previous season. And there were constant allegations of his head being turned and him not being happy. Maybe justifiably so, but once you make a deal with the devil like that, you don't get the same player back. The player's mind is elsewhere, entirely justifiably. But it wouldn't benefit Leon to do that, and it also wouldn't benefit us because what if we make that deal, commit to a series of payments, and then he breaks down?
Well, that's
You
what I
know,
was thinking. If we already looked at the way they had his knee reconstructed and thought that it was the incorrect way of doing it, or it wasn't done to a good enough standard, then they're hardly going to trust him to keep him fit for a season if we've bought him for next year.
it was absolutely, absolutely, and I think as an extension to that, we would be looking at watching FEKIR potentially get injured, while he's technically and legally our player, but he doesn't play for us. So he may well, touch wood he doesn't, but he may well get a serious injury whilst, you know, playing in a game that doesn't enhance our ambitions in any way. It only furthers Leon's objectives, but yet we potentially suffer the consequences. Yeah, I just feel it's bizarre to me. It's like the sort of the analogy of, effectively, I can't even draw like an appropriate analogy. Apologies, but it feels bizarre to me that you would, incur financial responsibility for a player who may well succumb to injury whilst pursuing another club's ambitions. It completely lacks any kind of business sense.
There's a comment here from Luke Small that said, "Did you get to talk to El Jimbo or just the picture?" Luke, come on. We spoke to James Pearce when we were there. You don't let James Pearce sit beside you and not have a little chat with him. Obviously, we couldn't discuss anything with transfers with him because we knew he wouldn't tell us anything. But as if we were going to let Connor's life go by without having a little word with James Pearce when he was there. Cash, come on. I couldn't do that to Connor.
No, it would have been like disappointing Elmo or Bambi. Um, I think I can. I saw the picture and I just think it would have been such a fun experience for you. It's like I feel like if I'd been talking to James Pearce, I probably would have been trying like valiantly to say something clever, or just would be unable to talk. But I feel like Connor would put himself across well.
I feel like he'd just go, "Daddy, Daddy, James."
Daddy, my God, James Pearce isn't old enough to be Connor's dad, is he?
Do you know what the first thing I said to Connor was actually when we seen James Pearce? So we were in the media room and James Pearce had come in actually and he joined the other Echo guys who were at the table in front of us. And I said to Connor, "He's not as big as you thought, is he? I bet you thought he was going to be much taller than that." Because he is quite small. And Connor, if somebody is your, I don't want to say fucking idol because that's kind of probably belittling Connor a little bit, but if you look up to somebody and then you beat them and they're like not this big impressive structure that you assumed. James Pearce is a pretty small man, to be fair.
Yeah, he always strikes me as quite sturdy.
He's an absolute gent. I'll say that from. He's polite to everybody and gives anybody the time of day. I will definitely say that about him. He's very, very nice.
You know what? I feel he's got like quite a difficult job in the sense that to many he's got like the absolute dream job, and there's no doubt that he does a very good job that any of us would be delighted to have. But by the same token, there are trials and tribulations undoubtedly involved with that job, and I think you've got to consider the fact that as well he's probably constantly harangued by fans everywhere he goes for information on transfers and this and that and the other. I would say it's probably a job where you get very little actual time to switch off. So as I said, the fact that he's polite to everyone and treats everyone courteously and with respect is a real good reflection on his character.
And then you get two Irish gobshites shitting in front of you at the press conference trying to take slide pictures of you as well, and you've got to put up with that shit.
Well, yeah, I mean I think I saw a tweet on his Twitter feed to that effect. Who are these two Irish gobshites?
Yeah, I don't blame them. They're probably fucking spot on. Slightly different chains of tact here, but Aliu asks Pogba to Barcelona. Funny if it happens. Did you see that? Did you see that deal that was? I think somebody mentioned it was. God, who was this? Let me get this one right. So obviously Barca wanted Pogba, and United were getting 50 million, and it was two shitty throwaway players who nobody really wants, and I just can't think for the life of me who they are.
Who are they looking to swap for?
So Barca wanted Pogba, and they were giving United 50
Yeah.
million and two players, and I just can't for the fucking life of me remember who these two players are.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it. I've not seen this link. I
Yeah,
didn't know that
it's
was a thing.
relatively new on my timeline anyway. Let me just put Pogba in. I can see it, or maybe some people in the chat here will let us know. Andre Gomez was one of them, correct? Um,
Oh, right, yeah.
and Mina, Yerry Mina. Yes, thank you guys. You guys are fucking on the money. Do you know that? Absolute quality. Thank you. Save my ass every night on here. Yeah, so Yerry Mina and Andre Gomes and 50 million for Paul Pogba.
I feel like that would probably prompt, like the response that we gave when Arsenal bid for Luis Suarez with that derisory bid. What are they smoking over there at the new camp?
It does seem like
I think
Pogba's agent seems to be trying to hawk him around though.
I mean, on one hand, that's what agents do. On the other hand, can you blame them? Like, I think the way Jose Mourinho has gone on with Pogba is nothing short of like ridiculous. Um, I feel like he'll be like the only manager that when a player comes back from winning the World Cup and being instrumental in that final, will probably critique him or say something's wrong with what he's done or not done or whatever. And I think the player is well within his rights to just be like, to just sort of tell him where to go, basically. That it's I don't condone the way a lot of agents behave, and I don't think Pogba's agent is any angel, but I think there is something to be said for the idea that Pogba might be better away from Old Trafford.
On a slightly different uh, note, yeah, slightly different note. The gentleman who does the cartoons behind me, we spoke about him briefly on some streams. Cartoons by Dave, footballcartoons.co.uk, I believe is the website. I spoke to Dave earlier on today, and Dave is going to both send me over some new images for behind me here, but he's also going to send me over some images that we can give away to some of our subscribers as well. So a lot of you people have
Oh,
commented
that's cool.
on the images, yeah. So Dave got in touch and he's going to send us over some images to give away. So that'll be something else we'll have pretty soon.
I'm telling you, Dave, you are the man. I love anyone artistic like that. Like I'm shit at everything involving that, and I just think anyone who can do things of that nature has my full admiration and respect. So thank you very much, Dave.
Yeah, I've said time and time again, Dave's an absolute gent. I've had the pleasure of working with Dave or doing some things with Dave over the years, and he's an absolute pleasure to work with, and he's a really, really talented guy. Touching on that, we have, what is it, 5 days, 6 days left in our competition to win one of 5 Liverpool home shirts with thanks to our friends at soccerlord.se. Look at the stream notes, all the information's in there. Go on to the Twitter account, look at the pinned tweet on the Anfield Agenda account at Anfield Agenda. Again, retweet that, you'll be in with an opportunity of winning 2 of those 5 shirts. But all the information is there on both the stream notes for this stream and all our recent streams actually, and on that pinned tweet on the Twitter account. Following on from that, we will be doing a watch along for tomorrow night's game with Torino, so we hope you can all join us for that one. Game kicks off at 7:30 p.m. UK time, so I'm hoping to be on here just after 7, maybe 7:10 past 7, something like that. And if you are watching or you haven't yet subscribed, then please do so. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get the notifications of when we go live. You'll get all our content absolutely 100% free. You'll get to meet more Reds, which is important. It's important to me, Cash. It's one of the main reasons I'm on here is to touch base. But obviously not with those American Reds that I seemingly hate so much.
No, we're here to touch base with everyone.
Yeah, but so if you haven't subscribed, now's the perfect time to do so. With the season just around the corner, Cash, we've got lots of new podcasts, lots of new videos, shows, watch-alongs, streams, loads of content coming up on the Anfield Agenda channel.
Well, absolutely. I think I've been a Liverpool fan for so many years, but I have never been as excited for a season as I have been for this one for 2 reasons. Firstly, we've made unbelievable signings, and I think we're really well equipped to mount a challenge for the title. And secondly, because doing it with the Anfield Agenda and doing it with everyone that engages with us it really adds a brilliant dimension to being a fan that wasn't there for me before. So yeah, that's all I can say on that is that we want to, keep engaging with everyone because it makes being a fan, worthwhile. It makes being a fan really good. It makes, it feel like you're part of something, and I think we could all do with that in our lives. So yeah, I'm happy.
And on a sad note, we had Barry Chuckle pass away.
We did.
Um, I think he played a role in all of our childhoods at some stage.
Yeah, no, it wasn't something that I like hugely watched, but it's always sad to see someone iconic of a certain era, pass away. I think for people it really reminds people of kind of like I suppose their mortality, which sounds really like negative. I don't mean to be negative, but I just mean, when someone like that passes away, you sort of shit yourself.
Makes you
You think,
feel
fuck,
older as well.
yeah, true. I'm already getting old, but yeah, it does. It makes you. It's sort of a timely reminder of your mortality, which is a bit morbid. I appreciate, but I simply mean that you sort of feel like a lot of the time you're just living your life so quickly that you don't consider anything else. But obviously, when someone like that passes away, you do consider things with more. You do consider things a bit more seriously, I suppose.
Did I mention to you about Carius apparently giving up the number one shirt? Was that before you came onto the stream, or did we talk about that?
We didn't mention that, but didn't Allison wear the 13 at the Napoli game?
It was apparently was broken tonight on Liverpool Twitter by Anfield HQ that he has given up the number one to, and there was an image earlier on. Karius posted himself in this season's goalkeeper shirt, and look, I don't keep up to track on these small little details, but apparently he usually signs off LK1 or something like that, and he didn't
Yeah.
on this tweet or this Instagram post. I can't remember which one it was. And somebody copped onto that one, but as the days gone by, more and more people have been speculating, and then it was broken tonight that apparently he's given up to number one to Alison Becker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this Instagram shot. He looks very handsome. And he just writes 2018/2019. I mean, pardon me, but yeah, it's entirely possible. You don't know what goes on in the sense of like, has he been asked to do that? I feel like Allison doesn't strike me as the type that would come in and demand that. Um, but then again, do they want to give it to Allison because it sends out a message? It's just so hard to know what the intent is behind everything. But that being said, Allison's going to be the number one no matter what the shirt is on his back.
I think you're
And
spot on.
this is all kind of just white noise in the sense of who's going to be the number one for most of the season. It's going to be Allison. And I mean, it's a shame for Karius because I feel like because of everything that's happened and because Allison's so highly rated in the game, he's almost like being eulogized as a god before he's really proven himself to the Liverpool fans. Like, yes, he's an excellent goalkeeper, but he hasn't had to build up that reputation. He's just considered excellent until he makes a mistake. Whereas I think when Karius came in, he was considered shaky until he became good. And I think the perception is completely different. So with Karius, he probably feels a little bit aggrieved that he's consistently had to win over a fan base to then lose the goodwill in the Champions League final. But he's had to consistently win over a fan base that have immediately just taken to Allison like a duck to water because he's seen as some kind of a savior. So it's difficult for Karius. I think he's in a real mental kind of quandary, but it doesn't look like, for all intents and purposes, like he's going anywhere. So I'm quite happy for him to be the number two. But it's whether he's happy with that, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it is just football's an unforgiving business at times, though. Cash. I mean, we can look at it two ways. These players are well remunerated for their the hassles that they go through. They're also human beings. We have to look at it from that point of view as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, a number isn't the biggest thing in the world. So if he gave it up, he gave it up, and it shows that he's a bigger person as well. If he did give it up, then fair play to him.
Well, that's it. Like if he's given it up, and not whinged and sort of just been like, okay, well, I'm going to be magnanimous and gracious, then I think, okay, fair enough. I think that must be hard for you because that is an explicit acceptance that you're no longer the number one. Like that is the most obvious acceptance of that scenario that a player can can make. So that must be difficult. But I've got a funny feeling that I don't. I mean, if the rumor is to be believed, Karius was pissed off that we signed Allison. Sort of. Jurgen Klopp was like, "Well, I didn't consult the midfielders when I signed Fabinho and Keita." This was the alleged exchange. Now, if that's the case, I don't see that he's going to be that pleased with having to give the number up. But it depends on if he's done it with a smile on his face and trying to put the team first, or if he's done it and been petulant about it. It's hard to say which one it is, but again, this is all sort of like unnecessary fluff and narrative when really the only thing to think about is who is Liverpool's number one. It's Alisson. He could wear 95, he could wear 112, it doesn't matter. So, as I say, hard for Karius, but as you said, football's an unforgiving business, and that's true. But what's also true is that Liverpool are probably more forgiving than most clubs. Liverpool, he wouldn't have got as many chances at another powerhouse, shall we say. I think Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp largely is quite forgiving until he reaches a point, and then it's done. So, it's a shame for him, but the team must come first, the club must come first, and it is doing so. For me, it's a positive.
Do you know what's unforgivable? Something that Dave said on last night's Cop Council podcast, and Carl has touched on it here when he asked me a question. Did you get a chance to listen to it yet, by any chance, Cash? No?
No, mate, I haven't. I was working today, a long day, but I've got some free time tomorrow, so I'm going to give it a listen then.
So, one of the listeners' questions was, what's your strange food habit, or what's your strange food combination that you have? And everybody kind of does have one, but Dave's one was particularly fucking disturbing. And Carl asked it here, he said, Craig, have you tried digestive biscuits with butter and ham yet? And no, Carl, I haven't quite been. Yeah, but that was Dave's digestive. Thought he was going to say butter and jam, and I was going to say, oh yeah, that's not too fun, but butter and fucking ham.
With digestive biscuits?
Digestive biscuits with butter and ham.
Dave, you're an absolute disgrace. He needs to sort himself out, Craig, I'll tell you.
I have to try it though. I feel like I have to try this at some point.
I'm gonna WhatsApp him several gifs of disgusting things to reflect how I feel about this behaviour.
Daz's one wasn't too bad, to be fair. So Daz's one was just chips with cumin on it, which isn't too bad because paprika's on chips all the time.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty, that's pretty standard fare. I think that's pretty tame, Daz. It's funny, like I eat pretty much everything and not like much nauseates me, but it's funny because some people think that this is a weird one, but I eat like toast and banana. Does anyone else do that?
French toast with banana. I'd have banana and jam.
No, like toast. And I've eaten like grape sandwiches before, which are kind of weird but really nice.
That is fucking weird.
Yeah, my mum used to make them, like, and she used to be like, "Well, just have a wee chicken and green grape sandwich," and Irish mothers, like, they put wee in front of everything and think it suddenly becomes appetizing.
That's true.
Yeah, so it was always a little, chicken and green grape sandwich, which is probably tantamount to child abuse in some jurisdictions, but I thought it was quite nice.
My nanny used to eat bread, butter and sugar sandwiches.
Bread, butter and sugar?
Yeah, or Madeira sandwiches.
That texture, like crunch.
I don't know if it was just for something sweet. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was disgusting. Or she used to eat Madeira sandwiches. Like Madeira cake sandwiches.
Madeira cake, goodness me.
Do you know what she didn't eat though, Cash? Digestives with fucking butter and ham on them. Because she's normal.
Oh, yeah. Butter and ham. God. Oh, I don't know. I don't really care for butter as an overall thing, so the idea of it like with ham and with something else really nauseates me.
I don't eat butter myself, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it's a necessary thing. People love it, but I'm just like, what does it add to the meal? Like fucking night. But yeah, I seem really aggrieved. I'm not, but I just feel like I just have this thing where I just don't really see that butter's a bit like your appendix, like totally unnecessary, and when you remove it from the equation, it's not missed.
Again, I don't have an appendix. No, I do have an appendix. Sorry, I do have an appendix. I don't have a gallbladder. And again, I've been fine. Removed? I did, yeah. I had gallstones when I was younger.
Oh, I didn't know that. Was it painful?
The gallstones.
The
gallstones was honestly, hand on heart, the most painful thing I've ever gone through in my life. It's the only thing that's ever had me on my hands and knees crying in pain. It was physically horrendous.
I thought, haven't you watched any of Everton's home games from last season?
Oh, I mean, like I thank my lucky stars they weren't kidney stones and I didn't have to piss them out.
That'll have you on your hands and knees crying.
Ugh, Jesus Christ, it really would. Yeah, look, I'm not going to get into my personal stuff, but I've had an operation that was just as unpleasant as well. But yeah, it still doesn't compare to digestives of butter and ham. I mean, to be fair, I'd go through it all again.
Yeah, but you know what? Dave willingly puts that into his body, whereas you had to have surgery, So for me, that means that he is a fool.
Sorry, just
A
touching on
fool,
something
I
here
say.
in the chat. Louis said Moses Simon has joined Levante from Ghent on a 5-year deal earlier today. Remember, we were being linked
Yeah,
with
I
him earlier
saw
on in
that.
the windows. That was Moses' daddy, Simon, I should say.
Moses Daddy Simon. I think it's fair to say that the thing that fans are most excited about him was about his name. Um, I mean, if you're to look at, how we recruited in that area, you can't deny that Jordan Shaqiri is much more well proven, um, and much more established. But then again, obviously he could go to Moses Simon could go to Levante and be absolutely outstanding. And La Liga, obviously La Liga clubs are infamous for putting huge release clauses into their deals. So good luck to him. But I don't feel like we'll regret not signing him. Not at this moment in time. You never know what the future holds.
Rod says, in the morning I drink my urine, then in the evening I rub myself in shit. I would suggest, Rod, that you perhaps look at reversing that, because that way at least at night you can like clean the shit off yourself with your piss, and you're not going to bed smelling the shit. Just a suggestion.
Ron, yeah, I mean, beyond the fact that yes, that makes total sense. But I would also advise that you seek you seek attention for what is clearly a very unsettling habit, shall we say?
Rod's a
But
superstar.
the
Rod's only winding us up. Rod's an absolute superstar. A couple of more ones. Wrigley Mick said, I was on my hands and knees crying during the Champions League final, Craig. Which was tantamount to
yeah,
gallstones, to be fair.
yeah, true. Actually, very much so. I think if you had to choose between reliving that experience again and the gallstones, I would 100% take the gallstones. I think
Oh, I wouldn't. No, Jesus, no, I wouldn't. I'd take the Champions
you've
League
had them,
final.
those who said no.
Honestly, when my wife was in labour on her second child, I remember her being in pain, and I just looked at her going, "Fuck off! You haven't had gallstones, woman. Would you fuck off with your labour pain?"
I'm sure that
At
I'm sure
least,
that went down really, really well.
well, at least she got something at the end of it.
Yes, this isn't this sort of like strain of argument isn't going to go well because I will tell Sabrina and then she will punish you.
Well, I got a jar with 2 little gallstones in it, 2 little calcium deposits or whatever the fuck they were, where she got a beautiful bouncing baby boy.
True, true, and she's got something that she can have for for the rest of her life and all the other things.
Whereas I
But
have to be careful about eating spicy food.
yes, but you didn't have to push a baby out of your vaginal canal.
Yeah, and a baby, like if you look at the size of my head, you'll see that a baby has a bit of a whopper head as well. So, in fairness
Yeah,
to her, she did a smashing job.
she birthed a human egg,
2 of them, drug free.
drug free.
Yep.
You shouldn't be slagging her off. You should be fucking getting her a medal.
And she didn't even get the gas because I was hoofing it all down when she was sitting there telling me to stop, and I was just sucking away on that gas, smirking like a Cheshire cat.
So she's in labour, dilating by the minute, and she has to reprimand her husband, not in labour, for taking the gas that's meant to be for her.
Yep, and they had to change the bottle at one point, which was hilarious.
You know what? You are an excellent father and clearly an excellent husband. However, you're not the man for the labour ward, it must be said.
You put me near any type of fun causing substance, and if I can get near it for free, I'm having a go.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But equally, it is meant for the people with the dilating vagina. It's not meant for you.
Yeah, we probably should have stuck to the puff puff pass rule, but we didn't really work in those.
The puff puff pass rule. Oh my god. You know what? I like that because it is very clearly a rule, and you should have adhered to it. But ifs and buts were fruits and nuts and so on. I think yeah, I'm just imagining that scenario. That'd be a great sitcom scene. like Sabrina just in frantic labour while you sit there and suck on the gas, meant for her while she laments the decision to allow you to impregnate her.
Yeah,
Now that's a sitcom thing.
I'd say she regrets that a lot. But she was stupid enough to
Ah,
say I
girl.
do, so no takebacks.
You're look, you've been with her for a fucking long time. My God, I admire that. I wish I could make a relationship work for that long.
If it was the other way around, trust me, it wouldn't have lasted this long. If I was in her shoes, this wouldn't have lasted this long.
Yeah, but different people have different things that
Tolerance levels.
make
Go
them.
on, you want to say it? Tolerance levels, Cash.
Well, yeah, the way it is though, Craig. You are very tolerant, like in many respects, but obviously, I think you've got a unique way of being that requires a certain type of person to be with you, and that's totally spot on. I think it's an awareness of that is is vital. It's you would never try and change the way you are, but just being aware of it. And I think you're great. I think the way that you carry yourself and have no tolerance levels is great. I like it.
I'm one of those people that makes the awkward joke at a funeral. Because I just feel like humor makes every situation better.
I feel like Sabrina's probably had to like apologize for something you've said at like many family events.
I've been sitting in church a few times at weddings and funerals and stuff, and I've just, in my head, I've turned the church into like a kind of WrestleMania event where somebody comes through the church doors, grabs the microphone, and Hulk Hogan's music starts blaring in the background, and it just becomes a much more fun filled event.
I mean, that's not what happens at funerals, but I like where your imagination goes.
The
Um,
best one I seen
no,
actually
I
for a
think
funeral was a soldier who'd obviously died away and came home and wanted something beautiful. So they had their ashes put into a firework, and the firework shot up into the sky, which I thought was pretty damn cool.
that is pretty cool. That's so cool, actually.
Yeah, I've been researching a few different ways like that as well. This is getting really fucking morbid, so let's push off on this one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Liam said, "What's the club's kit you have on you, Craig?" It's Atlanta United, an MLS club. I said I bought it last year at the airport on the way back from Orlando. And you may see me in a purple one actually when I come home from Orlando this year. Because as much as I hate Americans, Cash and all American LFC fans, apparently, I do like America, as you said. So could be a new purple shirt on the way home. A new Orlando shirt this city, I think, or this season, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you obviously hate America. That's why you go every year, etc. and so on. Yeah, you've got so many kits that like I don't even know. Do you buy a kit every time you go on holiday?
I do. I have this thing about when I'm in the airport on the way out on holiday. I buy myself a jersey in the sports shop in the airport as my pre-holiday treat, and I've done it since I was a kid.
That's kind of cute. I feel like you need like a sort of like a fashionista type walk-in wardrobe, but just for football jerseys.
And trainers.
Yeah, and trainers. Because I've seen your outfits, and that is essentially your get-up. Those are the staple items.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for them. I do love a football kit. I really do. I've got the new Juventus shirt on the way as well.
Oh, that'll be nice. You're not going to get CR7 on the back, are you?
Oh my fuck. I'm not getting anything on the back. Do you know what? I actually went to order the purple Liverpool jersey today from the official club website, and they're sold out of it.
The purple one.
Yeah, in an adult, in an adult size. They have it in kid sizes, and you can now pre-order it in the adult size. But when I went on go on yesterday, it was out of stock, and today it would pre-order for the 13th. So it's clearly a popular shirt.
You know what? This might be controversial, but it's not my favorite, if I'm honest. I think I prefer the other two. I really like. I want the grey. I want the grey one. That's the one that I want.
It's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. That's the one I was waiting for as well. And I love it, and I'm so happy I bought it. And I got the home one, and I had no intention of buying the purple one, but I had a couple of wins in the last few days. And I said on a couple of wins on the football, and I said, you know what? If I don't buy myself something with it, or I don't buy the kids something with it, I'll just fucking spend it on something stupid.
I mean, you can never ever say that any of the Liverpool kits are stupid. They are always a good purchase.
There you
But I'm
go.
very wary because of my distinct palette that there's certain colours that don't suit me as much.
I
But that
have
grey
that
one,
with Lucas as well. To be fair,
Yeah, we're very ginger, and I think, but with that grey one, that'll look really nice with my palette, shall we say?
We ordered
Um,
the grey one for Lucas the other day, so it's coming with Lucas 6 on the back of it. It's the first time he's ever getting his name on the back of his shirt.
he must be excited. I can imagine he's really excited.
He really is. He really is. And look, as long as he keeps wanting them, I'm gonna keep getting them. If I can keep brainwashing him to be a Liverpool fan, then so be it.
Well, I mean, it's also how you can justify all the purchases to your missus. You can just be like, look, the boy wants it. You
And
can't deprive the child of what he wants, Sabrina.
if the
And
boy's
then that's
getting
how.
one, it would seem ridiculous for his father not to have to pay another delivery charge for his one in the future. I might as well just get it now.
Oh, the tangled web we weave. I think it'll always be the case where if you want a Liverpool kit, you will just buy it. As well, you should because it's your money and it's your passion, and you should just do it. I'm going to buy the grey one. This has inspired me to buy the grey one.
Have a look on Soccer Lord as well, by the way. Have a look on Soccer Lord there.
It's not one of the
Soccerlord.se.
five. It's not one of the five shirts that we're giving away in our competition
No,
that you
no, have
told
a
me I
look.
have no chance of winning.
We get a 10% discount as well on there on the prices of the shirt. So have a look on
Ooh,
there.
that'd be
If you
good
need
to
the
know.
code, just let me know. If anyone's watching, they want
I
to use
will.
the code on soccerlord.se for 10%. It's AAMC, so that's Alpha Alpha Mike Charlie all uppercase. And that'll get you 10% off on soccerlord.se.
That's
So
pretty cool.
Cash,
You
look,
look.
I know you're only in the door, so I'm gonna let you go, get some rest, and get ready for no doubt what is another busy day for you tomorrow because you're a very active lady.
You know me. I've got various fingers and various pies, but I don't like being bored.
See, I've got various fingers and different pies, but purely in a pastry sense.
Yeah, well, you know, I like both the figurative and literal pies. You know, I'll take whatever's going, to be honest with you. But no, I mean, as I said, it's another busy day tomorrow. But I like coming on these streams; they're very relaxing, and I hope people just enjoy listening to us talk about what we love talking about, and continuing to get to know everyone. I
It's
love
our
it. I
date
really do.
night. It's our date night, Cash. Remember, somebody suggested that the other night.
What that it was their date night. Listen to this.
No, it was like listening to me and you on a first date. Somebody said the last time.
Oh, I feel like now the conversation's elevated to like the fourth or fifth date. Like I'm about to meet your kids from your previous relationship. That's why you're talking about them.
And I'm trying to pretend
Um,
that they're lovely little individuals, and you love them.
yeah, and when really I've seen footage of Lucas that suggests otherwise.
Yeah, he's nuts in a great way though. Of course, you'll love him when you meet him,
Yeah,
Cash.
yeah, no, I feel like we're just gonna stand beside each other and look at each other for several minutes.
Anyway, I'll let you go, buddy, and get some rest. And thank you so much for joining us again tonight.
No worries. Enjoy the rest of the stream, guys. Thanks very much for having me.
See you, Cash. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Right, guys, it's just me and you again. It was great to have Cash back on. It's always great to catch up with Cash. If you are watching the stream and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please take the time to do so. As I said earlier on, you'll get all our content 100% free, all our podcasts, streams, watch-alongs. And again, just to confirm, tomorrow, 7:15, we will be going live for the watch-along of the Torino game, which is the final pre-season game for Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool team of this pre-season. So interesting to see what team he puts out. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to doing another one. I really enjoyed the ones we've done so far. So fingers crossed we can get a good audience again, and we'll have a bit of crack tomorrow for that one. I've got about 20-25 minutes more on this stream, so if there's anything in particular you guys do want to talk about, or if anything has broken perhaps in the time where we've been chatting, myself and Cash, because I know at times 10:30 or so some of the news does come out from the journals, let me know, because I do like a bit of breaking news. The child who lives in a bin said, I missed 2,650 subs. I think we got there last night at some point. I'm fucking awful at this. I'm terrible at keeping an eye on the numbers. What are we at? The child who lives in the bin. Maybe since as you're talking numbers there, you could let me know where the subs are at this moment in time. But as I said, the growth we've had has been tremendous, guys. I've been blown away by where we've come as a channel. I mean, we're heading towards 3,000 subscribers now in the next few weeks, probably, which is crazy. Didn't think we'd get this far this quickly. So again, thank you to everybody for that one. I think I reminded you all earlier on about the competition as well. There's, what have we got today? Is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 5-6 days to go in the competition to win one of 5 Liverpool home shirts. So do not forget to enter that one. We will be giving them away, and we are happy to send them anywhere in the world. If you're in Australia, Sri Lanka, South Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, France, wherever you are, feel free to enter the competition. We will cover postage to wherever the winners come from. It doesn't really make a difference. Enter. It's open to everybody. Thomas said, not enough likes, people. Pound that like button. Thank you, Thomas, buddy. That's very kind of you. The Raptor said, from Shropshire, Paul, or the Raptors from Shropshire. Yeah, but definitely post it out there. Definitely got no problem with that one either. Dave said, breaking news, United have signed South Korean defender Park the Bus, or it could be FEKIR news. Gark the Bus, Dave, come on, you missed a fucking chance there. Gark the Bus. Like G-Sun Gark, remember? Dirty Girl said, I wonder where all our viewers live, cities, towns, or live, excuse me, what is it, live? Where they all live, I often wonder that as well, Dirty Girl. I feel dirty saying that sometimes. I often wonder that myself, where all the viewers live, but a lot of people have shared it with us, and one night we had people on here and they were from Australia, India, Jamaica, Barbados as well actually, which was crazy. Mexico, we had somebody who was from Chile. We had lots of Irish, obviously lots of people in the UK. It's brilliant. It's so great to know you're chatting to people from all around the world, and we're all on this little platform talking about the one thing that unites us all, which is Liverpool Football Club, which kind of makes a mockery of what we spoke about earlier on, the locals against the overseas fans, or the locals against the non-locals, because we're all coming together on here to talk about the same thing, to talk about Liverpool, the club that we all love. Carl's from Crumlin, just up, like, not too far from where I grew up. Well, I say just up the road, but not too far. Same for Joseph's in Rathfarnham, which of course is very close to where I grew up and went to school as well. The Revenant said, Craig, I changed the way my name from, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that one, hopefully it's a bit easier to say, so it's the Revenite. The Revenite is certainly a lot easier to say than the other one that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. And said, love the channel, mate. Thank you so much. I still get blown away by people saying that they like the channel, because I just think I'm a fucking chancer that's on here every night trying to discuss football with you guys. But to hear so many kind words from people all the time, it blows us all away. And Connor as well. Connor often mentions to me, I can't believe how far we've grown, or did you see how many views we had last night, or how many people were watching when we were live. And it's great fun, it's great crack, and it's only because of you absolute legends on here that we keep doing it. Wrigley Mick is in Enniscorthy, so literally just down the road from where I live now, Mick. Rod is in Oz, obviously. And you know what, Rod? I really, really have to get to Australia someday. I've often talked about it with my wife, trying to go over for our 40th birthday, but it's a trip that if we do it, we want to do it well. So you'd need a month, I reckon, minimum to do Australia. So it's something that if we're going to do, we're going to try and do properly. But I really would love to get over to Oz at some point. Donna Bate from Mr. Bugsar, Glasnevin. All parts of Dublin, of course, that I know very well. Louis said, Craig, there are rumours Alisson Becker will be number 1, Fabinho will be 6, and Lovren will be 3. I want Andrew Robertson to be 3. I wanted Trent to be number 23 actually, before it was taken by Shaqiri, because I just thought it would have been fitting for him to take it after. I think it's not my idea, somebody else mentioned it to me. But yeah, let me see. Fabinho 6 makes sense. Lovren taking 3. I would also, like you, prefer Robertson actually, because I'm a bit of a old school left back. Number 3 makes sense. But yeah, be interesting to see how it does work out. Does anybody know when the club have to hand in their squad numbers? Because obviously it'll have to be before the Premier League starts, but I don't remember seeing an exact time scale of when they have to be in by. So if anyone does know, please do put it in the chat and let me know. Damo's from Belfast, which of course I do know. Damo, you've discussed that with me before, buddy. A beautiful, beautiful city. I think I've said it before. Belfast is my favourite place in Ireland to visit. I absolutely love the city. The child who lives in a bin said that he is of course from a bin in Wales, a Welsh bin, so a very nice bin. Cap Idol's in Huyton, with of course in Liverpool. Rod says, cool, drop in, Craig. Mate, if I'm there, I will drop in, and you'll fucking regret it, because I will arrive on your doorstep, buddy, going, Rod, I'm here, where's the coffee? Connor's showing how Irish we all are now. This is how fucking Irish everybody is. Connor said, Wrigley Mick, you being from Enniscorthy, do you know the Kirwins from Enniscorthy? Now that's how fucking Irish we all are on here, guys. You say a town and we name a family in that town, and the odds are that if you don't know that family, you'll know somebody that knows that family. That's how parochial Ireland is, and that's how small this country is. Johnny said, I'm from Northern Ireland and was born with cerebral palsy before it was cool. I do love that you say that. You say that in your bio as well, and it always makes me smile when I read it. Obviously not the part about anybody having cerebral palsy, and I don't, I know I'm not taking the piss in that sense, but I do like your sense of humour, because it's the same type of humour that I'd have. So Northern Ireland, a great place. Cash from Northern Ireland, so again, who couldn't love Northern Ireland with Cash being from there? And we've had loads of lovely chats as well with Johnny Longlegs in DMs on Twitter. Really nice guy. So again, if anybody hasn't reached out and had a chat with Johnny Longlegs, then you really should, because he's a top bloke. Who's better in your opinion, Robbo or Trent? Oh, that's a dirty question. That is a dirty question. Oh, Trent. I would say Trent, because I think Trent has a higher ceiling than Robbo, but Jesus, that really is like picking which one of your kids you want to shoot. I mean, that's probably one of the toughest questions I've ever been asked on here, with regards to football. Like, wow, that was a good one. To be fair, that's one that I'm going to use on the podcast, if you don't mind. I'm going to ask the guys that next week or on the next podcast we do, because that is a damn tough question. Kainta channel said, hello, how about who stay in Germany? Oh, are you asking who lives in Germany? If I picked that up incorrect, I'm sorry. If we do have any German viewers, of course, then do let us know in the chat. I'd love to know if we have any German viewers or European viewers as well. And me saying European is not a dig at Brexit, by the way. Eric said, it'll be interesting to see how many Premier League players are poached after the window closes, and that's a subject that we spoke about on last week's podcast as well. It does somewhat put the Premier League at a disadvantage. I suppose the only real advantage they have is that the financial muscle that Premier League clubs have means that they can probably allay the fears of being poached by knowing that they can pay these players as good a wage as anybody else, if not better. But I do understand where you're coming from, and it particularly puts the clubs at a disadvantage with regards to other players, because let's say Liverpool were interested in, I'm just going to throw a random name out, let's say Dybala, and you had, let's say, Atletico Madrid also interested in Dybala. Well, Atletico Madrid know that if Liverpool haven't really pushed through a move for Dybala before the English window closes this Thursday, then they've a free fucking run at Dybala. And look, this is all just hypothetical, but I'm just using it to prove the point. They know that if Liverpool haven't done that deal, then they've got a couple of weeks or 2 or 3 weeks free run at the player. So I definitely think that there is somewhat of a disadvantage there for English clubs. But I don't know how many will be poached. I don't know how many will be taken out of the Premier League against the club's wishes. That will be interesting to see. And I think, as you pointed out, we will only see that over the next couple of years. Tybox said that he also has cerebral palsy, amongst other conditions. Liam said, I'm from Bootle. To be honest, there's more blues than reds around these ways. Is it true that every taxi driver is basically a blue? Because I swear to God, every time I get into a taxi, I ask blue or red, and I think from memory, almost every answer I've had has been blue. I skipped a few comments there, so let me just scroll back through. The Raptor said, when I say I'm from Liverpool, I'm actually born in Clatterbridge Hospital, which subsequently became a mental institution. Oh, there's so many jokes I could make about that one, buddy, but I don't feel it right to make jokes about mental health, but there's so many there. Louis said, hopefully we'll get a decent backup for Andy Robertson. I'd like us to sign Alex Telles as a backup. Wasn't he quoted at some stupid price, like 30 million or something? Is that the Porto left back? Because if memory serves me correct, they were looking for mad money for him. And let's not forget, we do have young players coming through as well. So, let's not rule out maybe you could see somebody being moved over into that left back as cover perhaps. Charlie who lives in a bin said Robbo was better because he elbowed Raheem Sterling in the face. Lee said, I live by Goodison. Blues everywhere. Bitter blues everywhere, Lee. Come on, be honest here. Bitter blues everywhere. Johnny said, very likewise, sir. I talk to myself, so new insights always welcome, folks. Damo said, Connor, did you ever get that inflatable globe to stick pins in for all the different locations of people on the stream just to mess with the heads of the Flat Earth Society? Ryan said, Craig, I bet you're buzzing now Mignolet is back from his holiday. I'm so happy, Ryan, yeah. It's made my day. I'm thinking of getting Mignolet on the back of my shirt, on the goalkeeper's shirt. But I just want to wait in case my heart's broken if he leaves. I don't want to waste all that money on a Mignolet shirt. Where else have we got? Brandon said, Craig, can you accept my request on Twitter or on your personal? I'll go onto my personal account right now, Brandon. Let me have a look, buddy. Where are we? Yeah, so I did start up. I used to have a much bigger account on Twitter. I think my account was over 20k, 23k, something like that when I packed it in. Twitter got a little bit too much for me. At times it gets too negative, even for me, who, you know what, guys, I can deal with trolls quite easily, but Twitter at times got a little bit too negative for me, and I just had to get away from there. So I deleted my old account, and then I came on here, and I didn't feel the need for one, but so many people keep saying, look, how do we get in touch with you? Because if we can't get you on the Anfield Agenda account, then it's real tough to get in contact with you. So I have started up another account, and I will put it in the chat here. It's the same name I had previously. It's at @CopJaffer_LFC, but I'll put it in the chat here just so everybody can bear with me. So yeah, if anybody does want to give me a follow or anything on there, then it's in the chat there now. It's CopJaffer_LFC. But let me just check. Who was it that told me to look? Let me scroll back through the chat. God, how have I forgotten already? I have a memory like a sieve. Was it Liam? Who was it? Brandon. Bear with me 1 second. Don't see the follow request, Brandon. Yeah, I don't see it on the personal account, mate. So if you have sent me one, I don't see it there. So do send me another one if you haven't already done so, buddy, or undo the last one and send me another one, and I will, of course, sort that out straight away. Rod said, now I can tell everybody from personal experience that there's a fine line between crazy and genius. And they do say that, don't they? They do say that there was a blurred line there as well. Wrigley Mick said Klein can play left back as well, so we're not too bad in that area. Connor reckons the earth is flat. I'm not even gonna fucking respond to that one. Okay, Osoi Boyaki said Chelsea. Not quite sure what he means there, but I think he's trying to say Chelsea perhaps. But I could be wrong on that one. Chelsea? Adam said, I met Alisson, Shaqiri, Gomez and Robbie Fowler on Saturday. Great day, 5-0. That is absolutely awesome, Adam. And thank you for sharing that, buddy. That's great news. I hope you got some photos as well if you did get a chance to meet them. But again, I hope you had a great day in Dublin. I certainly did. Great to see so many happy kids going around the Aviva. Yeah, what a result, what a day. It was a perfect day for everyone, but I'm so glad to hear you met the guys. That's great news. Liam is saying good night to everybody. Good night, Liam, buddy, and thank you as always for joining the stream, mate. It is always appreciated. Right, so we have a couple of minutes to go, about 10 minutes to go. If you're watching the stream, I've finally said it a few times tonight, but if you are watching and you're liking the stream, you're enjoying what we're doing on here, please do take a moment to hit that subscribe button. You'll get all the content 100% free. Podcasts, watch-alongs, live streams, pre-recorded stuff, interviews, lots and lots of content. It'll be ramped up even more now as the season's getting so close to starting. So if you're enjoying it, please do hit that subscribe button. And as we say, become part of the solution. Although, as of yet, we still haven't figured out what the fucking problem is that we're solving. But, you know, maybe we'll get there someday. Wrigley Mick said, I've seen a few people with the new kit with Migs on the back in Dublin. Definitely surprise birthday present from some significant others. I would see that as tantamount to my significant other saying I want a divorce, dickhead, if she handed me a shirt with Mignolet on the back of it. Crosby Red said, Craig, you get Blues bus drivers because you're over for matches when the Reds drivers aren't working. Good shout. That is a good shout, to be fair. Do you know what's funny though, Crosby Red? The one time I remember getting a Liverpool, like a red taxi driver, he actually ended up having 2 tickets for the game on him because his son couldn't attend, so he actually ended up then sorting out 2 of our friends with those 2 tickets. So it was brilliant. The one interaction I did have with a red taxi driver, and it actually ended up helping out some friends. But you are right, that's a really good point. If the earth is flat, then where does weather come from? Says Pepper Red. Gark's an Egypt. No argument on that one. Gark is most certainly an Egypt. He's a langer. He's an Egypt. Any other Irish words we can come up with from? Long live King Mo said, I'm going to Belgium for a trial with 3rd Division side Bergendal VV. I hope I might be playing for Liverpool soon. Is that genuine? Because of course, if it is genuine, you're going over for a trial with a club, then we sincerely wish you all the best, buddy. God, it's always great to hear success stories. And if you can make a career out of football at whatever level, you go and do it. You go after your dream, buddy, and we'll be right behind you. I've no idea if you're taking the piss out of me or if that's a real club, but either way, my sincerity is genuine. Stop the world, I'm getting dizzy, I want to get off, said Damo. The Heart's looking for a flat, there's none left in Dublin. Luca is back again. Hello Luca, mate, thank you for joining in the stream. Connor said, I can't be dealing with all you round earthers. This has gone a very strange tangent again tonight, but I do love these strange tangents, guys. Watching City versus Chelsea was like watching a blind pre-season game. Steve said, if you go to the very edge, you'll find that the water's deeper. So yeah, the edge of the world. Michael Marnie said, Khabib or McGregor? Defo McGregor, Michael. Definitely. Completely. Definitely McGregor. Obviously, there's Irish bias in behind that, but just on that one, we will be doing a watch-along of the Khabib McGregor fight on the channel here, so if you're watching it like us and you're going to have nothing better to do except sit down and watch the fight, then why not have the YouTube stream on in the background? Come on, have a bit of banter with the guys and we'll all watch McGregor kick fuck out of Khabib. What a beautiful way to spend your night. What do you think, Tom Michael? Are you Khabib or McGregor? Surely you're McGregor with an Irish name like Michael Marley. Long live King Mo said, yeah, genuinely mate, wish me luck. Of course I wish you luck. And do let us know how you get on. What position do you play as well? Long live King Mo, I'd like to know that one, but definitely wish you luck. Of course we do, buddy. When is the trial as well? Mr. Bugsar said, come on, we need more likes. We've just hit 80 likes tonight. Well, let's see if we can, we've 10 or so minutes left. Let's see if we can get that to 100 before we get off. So, what have we got? 10 minutes, we need 17 or 18 likes. If you're watching, and surely there's 17 or 18 people watching this stream now. And that fucking has to be actually, because there's more than that in the chat. So look, if you are watching, you haven't given us a thumbs up. I don't think we've not hit 100 any night, so it would be a shame for tonight to be that night. But if you are watching, apart from subscribing, if you haven't done so, do hit that thumbs up. And we need to get to 3 figures, guys. You know we do. Michael Marnie said, great to hear. I'll 100% be watching with you guys, Craig. It's going to be really different, Michael. It'll be the first one, obviously, we've done, but it'll be a good crack. It'll be great fun to see what happens, and it'll be a really good fight if nothing else. It really will be a good fight. Nathan John James said he thinks Khabib is going to win. If it goes to the ground, then obviously people favour Khabib, but if Conor can keep him at distance and connect, then it's night, and I think that's what makes the fight so interesting. Adam said, do you think LFC will put a young side out against Torino tomorrow as we've West Ham on Sunday? Yeah, we spoke a little bit about it earlier on, Adam, and I honestly don't know. I'd probably expect people like Divock Origi to play, people who are still in the shop window. Maybe Firmino might want to get a few more minutes in his legs before Sunday, but all in all, I kind of would side with what you're thinking, that we'd see a relatively young side, and obviously you won't want to take too many chances with players before the game on Sunday. But it does make for a very interesting game tomorrow because I don't know what to expect. Michael said, I am McGregor, Craig, but I worry for him in a fight with Khabib being such a great wrestler. I hate to say it. Well, they had the same fear as well, didn't they? And look, as I said, I'm not hugely into MMA. I'm not a massive MMA person. I'm a massive boxing fan. So that would certainly be somewhere I'd be much more comfortable discussing than MMA. But who was the guy that they fought that he said that was another great wrestler? Jesus Christ, the little tiny little fucker. I can never remember his name. American guy. Somebody will mention this in the chat here. The guy that McGregor knocked out eventually, but your man gave McGregor one hell of a fight. Obviously not Nate Diaz. I know who Nate Diaz is. It's not him, but Chad Mendes. That's the guy. That's the very guy. So thank you, Michael, for that. Yeah, Chad Mendes was another great wrestler, wasn't he? And as much as he did take out McGregor still managed to knock him out. And look, I know Chad Mendes might not be on the same level as Khabib when it comes to a ground game, but as I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable person on MMA, so I'm just plucking the little bits I have taken from all the fights I've watched. Wrigley Mick said, good night everyone, absolutely love this channel, great banter. And that's only because of the people that are on here, Mick. The banter only comes from the brilliant people that are on here watching. Ryan said Eddie Alvarez. No, it was Chad Mendes. It definitely was Mendes. Alvarez he knocked fuck out of. That was hilarious, yeah. He did knock fuck out of him. That was brilliant. But nothing is ever going to beat the Aldo fight. I mean, the nervousness that was in Ireland for that fight against Jose Aldo. Jesus Christ, you could cut the tension with a knife in the whole country. And for it to last 13 seconds before McGregor knocked him out, that was absolutely priceless. That was unbelievable stuff, really, honest to God. They both connected, but obviously McGregor connected infinitely more powerfully, and yeah, night, that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. I hope we see the same type of thing again. I know people are going to want a better, longer fight, but you know, as an Irishman, I want McGregor to kick fuck out of him as quickly as possible. Michael said he's unbeaten Khabib, 27-0. I'd seen that one, to be fair, but it's going to be a really interesting fight. I hope they put on a good card, and maybe the card has been released, I don't know. As I said, I don't keep up to date on UFC as much as I used to. Or, yeah, actually I did watch it a lot more, to be fair, when McGregor was fighting more regularly. But I did see that Nate Diaz walked out of the press conference, actually, when the trailer was played for the McGregor-Khabib fight. And I can understand why Diaz would be a little bit pissed off with kind of the spotlight being taken off him, because he was one of the main attractions for that card that was the press conference was for, wasn't he? If, again, my memory serves me correct. 5 more likes to go. Look, there we go. We've 6 minutes, 5 likes to go. Let's do it. Let's get these 100 likes up. 4 more to go, said the Raptor. So surely we're going to do it, guys. And of course we're going to do it, because you guys are absolute fucking legends. You never let us down. Tybok is going to head off. Good night, Tybok, mate. Thank you again for joining the stream, and hopefully we'll chat to you very soon. And Connor saying subscribe too, please. So yes, as Connor said, the Flat Earth Society really wants you to subscribe as well, if you haven't hit that subscribe button already. Paul said, Craig, have you seen Liverpool play away in the Premier League Cups? If so, which is your favourite away ground? I have never ever had the opportunity to go to an away game, Paul. Cop Idol has said that he should be able to sort us an away at some stage this season, but I've tried and tried and tried and never been able to get away tickets. So unfortunately, I can't say what my favourite away ground is, because the only away grounds I've been to are finals, and those finals obviously are Istanbul and Athens. So I wish I could say, I wish I could tell you what my favourite away ground was, and hopefully this season I will get over to at least one away if the tickets can be sorted. Brandon, yeah, let me jump on now, buddy, and I'll accept that now in 2 seconds. Where are we? Ding. Yeah, just did it there, Brandon. Oh, I'll tell you why, Brandon, actually, now I remember. The reason that I wouldn't have accepted the follower request was because I have this thing about people not having a profile picture, and I always deem people that don't have profile pictures to be more likely to be trolls or bots, so that probably is why I never accepted the original request, but I've accepted it there now, buddy, and I've hit follow back as well, so apologies on that one. There we go. 100 likes up. Absolute fucking legends. Thank you very much. Gentile Jibril, I like that name, said, I like your videos from Canada. One, thank you very much, mate. It's very kind of you to say, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you do so now. But apart from anything else, I want to take a moment to just say what a beautiful country you live in. I've had the pleasure of being to Canada before. My wife has relatives over there, and I love Canada as a country. It's definitely somewhere I want to go back to, but next time I want to go over and see the other side of the country, because it was Toronto, what was the Mississauga? Was it Mississauga? Yeah, Mississauga was the area we were in, but I loved it. I loved our time over there. As Firmino said, I think my grandmother caught me having a Tommy tank. Happens to us all, mate. I mean, it happens to us all at one stage. Just roll with it. Perfectly natural thing. Stephen said, help this channel grow, becoming a patron like me if you can. Yeah, we do touch on that as well, but if anyone is watching and they do want to help us financially support the channel or push the channel on, you can do so. Let me just put it in the chat as well so I can put it in. It's guys, my fucking keyboard skills are shocking. Is that right? Yeah, so if anybody does want to become a patron of the channel, which basically means signing up to help the channel out on a monthly basis or whatever, if you jump onto patreon.com/Anfield Agenda, and I've just put it into the chat there now, just like, who was it in the chat? Sorry, the chat moves so quickly. Just like Stephen Taggart said in the chat there earlier on, was it Stephen Taggart? Yeah, you can become a patron, which means signing up to give 3, 5, 8, 10, whatever's comfortable for you each month. And that money will, of course, be reinvested into Anfield Agenda and the growth of Anfield Agenda. If that's something you want to do, then I've just put the Patreon address into the chat there now. Patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. Look, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if anybody does, we often get asked about it, then jump on there. You can do it on there, and it really will help us out. It will help us to send Connor to Space Camp. But no, realistically, it's for the likes of the website. Buying new equipment, just being able to make more content as well, which is of course what we want to do, but we never want to put people under pressure because money's hard. Craig spelt it wrong, so there you go. Did I spell it wrong? Did I spell it wrong? Did I? Hang on, how did I spell it wrong? I spelled it the same as you, surely. Oh, I spelled Anfield Agenda wrong. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so as Connor said, I did spell it wrong. But it's patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. So I'm going to put it back in the chat properly because, as I said, I'm a cabbage and I can't spell it right, but there we go. Where are we? Yeah, there we go. This time I got it right. So apologies, I did spell it incorrectly, and thankfully Connor's here to point out my mistakes like that because I wouldn't notice them. What else have we got? Adam is heading off. Good night, Adam mate. Good night, Press Firmino as well. Thank you for joining in the stream. Right, one more thing. Let's have one more little topic before we head off tonight. So what is it you guys want to finish up with? Is there anything particular you want to chat about? Anyone got any questions or any specific areas they want us to have a chat about? Long Live King Mo said my comment. So let me scroll back up, see if I can see it. Okay, scrolling. I play up front and broke a goal scoring record in the Cork AUL League last season. 50 goals in 26 games. Check it up. Is it possible to walk into a club and ask for a trial? And when is the McGregor fight? The McGregor fight, mate, is October 6th. So it's 2 days before I go on my holiday. So it's a really exciting time for me. But yeah, Connor said if everybody here gave a $1 a month donation, we could do so much more stuff. Just saying. Yeah, look, we could, but as I said, money is a different situation for everybody. So there's never any pressure from us in that sense. But that is amazing, by the way. Long Live King Mo breaking a goal scoring record in the Cork AUL League, which look, it's no small achievement. That's absolute class, and I hope that trial goes well for you. I really do, and please do keep us up to date with how you're getting on. That's amazing. That's brilliant. I'm sure your family must be so proud, and rightly so, buddy. That's a great achievement. Ryan said, I'm just so happy I'll be able to use a decent keeper from Liverpool on FIFA for once. It was always the position that let me down. I actually don't play FIFA. I'm not a big computer game person. But if I did play, if it was to play a computer game, then FIFA would definitely be the go-to game for me. But do you know what? Touching on what Ryan said there, something I had a conversation with my wife about earlier on. To finish up, if you are on here and you're a gamer, let me know. Are you PS4 or are you Xbox? Xbox One or PS4, let me know in the chat which one is for you. If you were playing FIFA, are you an Xbox or a PS user? I will personally be a PlayStation user, but there's both in our house because my daughter likes PlayStations and my son likes Xboxes. So me and you should play FIFA someday and record it. I'd probably get too worked up, Connor. I mean, yeah, I probably would end up calling them all cunts at some stage. Even though it's a fucking computer game and I'm controlling them, I'll still be calling them useless cunts. A PC for Nathan John James. Raptor as well, another PC user. PS4 for Lee. PS4 for Mr. Bugsar. Xbox One for Ryan. What else we got? PS4 for Michael. That's why we should record it, said Connor. Again, just another reminder. Tomorrow, the Liverpool-Torino game, we will be doing a watch-along on the channel. We'll be going live just after, well, about 7:15 if I'm being honest. So we hope you can join us for that one because it's going to be great fun. The last pre-season game before the Reds start the season against West Ham, so we're sure to have a bit of fun on here. So if you are around, please do pop on and join us for that one. PS4 for Aaron, PS4 for Long Live King Mo, a Power Cube. I don't even know what that is, so that shows how limited my knowledge of computer games are. Aaron Lennon said PS4, Skipper Dogs and Xbox. Stephen Taggart said neither, I'm too old. I think I might fall into that category as well, Stephen. Although I do know people my age, lots of them who still play games. Connor said PC, but strongly considering getting a PS4 or just wait for the PS5. Pro Evolution Soccer, not FIFA for Proper Red or Pepper Red. Mate, come on. Surely FIFA's a better game than Pro Evolution. Even I know that, and I know fuck all about computer games. PS4, Shaqiri is the Power Cube. There you go. Well, then I completely understand where you're coming from. Skipper Dog said, I'm playing The Witcher 3 at the minute. I don't even know what that is. No idea. SNES for Connor. Now I know what that is. I had a Super Nintendo, so I definitely remember what that is. Yeah, so it seems like the majority, from what I can gather, were PS4s. But there was more PCs than I would have expected as well, so really is interesting to get a gauge on what everybody uses for the gaming, so thank you for that one. Another PS4. I have a PS4, if Tony suggests, and we have a PS4 here, and we have an Xbox One, but I never use either. Atari, now that's up my street, Nathan John James. I do love Atari games, that's right up my street. FIFA is for kids, PES is for the purist, Craig. Stephen said, Craig, you're my favourite YouTuber. That's so kind of you, Stephen. Thank you. And that is genuinely, that means a lot. Because I know what the choice is, or what the selection of YouTubers are out there. So for you to say that means a lot. Thank you very much. Love me a bit of Snake on the Nokia brick. Again, Connor, right up my street, buddy. That was about where I was with gaming. Yeah. Commodore 64. Had one of them, Stephen, mate. Defo had one of them. I remember having Platoon on the Commodore 64. And the most annoying thing about the Commodore 64, in my memory, was when you put the fucking tape deck in, and the game had pretty much loaded and it fucked up right at the end, and you had to take the tape out and reload the game again. That was absolute fucking clusterfuck when that happened. I remember I got Street Fighter for the Commodore 64. I was so happy with getting the game, having played it in the arcade and stuff. And I got it back to my house and I put it in the tape and it loaded up fine. And the game started and it was just like fucking blocks on the screen. You could barely make out who was who. The graphics were so bad. Connor said his Tamagotchi is 14 and still going strong. You know what, guys? It is now 12:30, so I'm going to call it a night on this one. Thank you all so much again for joining on tonight's stream. Tomorrow night's stream will be a little bit earlier, as I said, because the game's starting at 7:30, so we'll be on from about 7:15. So if you're around for that one, you're going to watch the game, then please do jump on. Mr. Bugsar said, Craig, what is the website? It will be AnfieldAgenda.com. Plain and simple, AnfieldAgenda.com. Connor's working on it as we speak, hoping to have it ready for the start of the season. It'll be a last minute dash to get it all finished because we only sorted the funding out recently. So yeah, it'll be AnfieldAgenda.com, nice and simple. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it when it goes live. But guys, as I said, thank you so much for joining in tonight's stream. To everyone that's new or that has subscribed, thank you so much. We hope you continue to enjoy the channel. For our regular viewers that come on every night, you guys are absolute fucking legends. Thank you. And to you guys that are going to come tomorrow, if you're thinking about joining the stream tomorrow, come on and join it. We'll have a laugh. I didn't do the last watch along, so I'm raring to go on this one. I'm looking forward to it. And you guys, look, I'm going to end how I always end. You guys know by now, it's up the motherfucker.